They're a relentless group.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today's Tuesday, May 9th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the West second round matchup in the NHL playoffs. Game number 4, series Seattle up 2-1. Can we make it 3-1? Dallas Stars versus the Seattle Kraken. Live reactions and watch party with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. So we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. And the big news for today is that Jared McCann might play. I'm not sure what the limits are going to be with him, and if there's going to be like ice time restraints. If they're going to be managing his minutes, but it sounds like he's going to be suited up. So I'm very intrigued to see what, if any, with Jared McCann that we get. Preston's in the building. How are you? This is going to be good, man. Not going to be easy. I know how the playoffs typically work. We know this, right? So we played one really good game in game 1, probably stole one. Especially when Joe ended up having 4 goals in that particular matchup, but we still found a way to win in overtime. And, Dallas rebounded in game 2, which they should have because they're a great team. Then we go to Seattle. We take care of business with an ass whooping in game 3. So normally, if history tends to, repeat itself, then game 4, Dallas will come back and they'll find a way to win this game. But if not, then if Seattle goes up 3-1, bottom line, we're going to win the series. I mean, it still might end up going 6 or 7 games at that point, but I like our chances. A lot is going against us here, in this particular matchup. I know we're at home, but, this is Seattle's first opportunity to make this little run in the postseason since it is their only second year. So we don't really have a whole lot to base off, their history, but you can do it based off game 4 history. So we will see what happens, but I'm going to be definitely going to be feeling like this for a majority of the matchup, and I won't be feeling like this until at the very, very end. Let's go, baby. Ooh, let's go. I had to hit you with the new thumb today. Let's get it, baby. Let's go. Who will it be today for the Kraken? A little Oliver, a little Maddie. I'll have to get some McCann photos up, depending on what we get from him. Eberle, Jordan, and lots of Gru. Let's go, baby. Game 4. This would be huge, like I said, for Seattle and their confidence, to try to do what Florida did. And, we're not going to be as good as them and their particular run, but as one underdog to another, this is the, must-win game, for Seattle if you want to win the series. Like, if you really want to stamp yourself on winning the series, you win this game. Because if you go up 3-1, I think we know that Dallas can win 1 or 2 more games after that. But you're really putting the pressure on. And even if we do go up 3-1, could it still go 7 games and Seattle or Dallas wins? Of course. But normally in a 3-1 series, it'll end in 6 games. Like, you'll get one more last-ditch effort, from Dallas to punch you in the mouth, and maybe they win that, game 5 at home to make it 3-2. And then it's up to us to be able to try to win in Dallas, or based on how the flow of the series is going to go. So, based off this particular series, how is it going to go? Is it going to go? Does it go 2-3-2, or does it go 2-2, 1-1-1? I mean, based off the travel and whatnot. So I know someone in here will be able to go. I haven't looked and peeked ahead to see kind of how the schedule plays out for home and away. All right, Preston, let's go, bud. He's rooting for the Stars. We're rooting for the Kraken. We're going to have a good time in here tonight. Let's go. He said Texas versus Seattle and Dallas versus Seattle. I know, kind of odd and strange, right? Dusk in the building. How are you, bro? I don't know how busy we're going to be today with, goals, assists, and all the different things that we're going to be putting up on the screen, but I don't know if we're going to have 8 goals or 9 goals or 10 goals combined, but I'm ready for a fight. Let's go. Sarah in the building. How are you? Let's get to 100 in donos. Let's do it. What are the Celtics' chances after losing Game 5 at home? Obviously, we thought, this particular season, right? We thought this season that Boston could win it all, either them or Milwaukee, right? And I still think that this loss hurts, right? But if anybody can come back and be down 3-2 and win the last two games, it's Boston. If you got to think of one team in the NBA, that could do it this year besides them, the Bucks, maybe the Sixers. Obviously we've seen the Lakers get hot now, the Warriors. There's certain teams that can come back, and they're, going to be confident, and it's probably kind of a slap in the mouth because now the Bucks were gone. And maybe the Celtics thought, well, once we get past the Sixers, we're champions. We're going to win it all. We'll play against the Lakers, or we'll play against Denver or whoever. We'll find a way, right? But now with the Sixers saying, hey, not so fast, with Embiid and company, now they really are going to be pushed to the limits. And if the Sixers come out of the East, I'm not sure if they're good enough to win it all. It just depends on who the West team is. Like if we ended up getting some crazy matchup like Lakers, Sixers, who would win that? I don't know if anyone really knows. So I'm still rooting for Boston to turn it around, but definitely not a good look losing at home. But again, just like, most people know, you got to be able to fight through the adversity. And if anyone can fight and battle and scratch and claw their way back to a series win, you bet your ass it's the Boston Celtics. Now, will they do it? I don't know. They've looked a little intimidated at times with the Sixers team, like they peeked ahead to the finals. They're like, Milwaukee's out with Giannis. It's ours. And then they forgot about Philadelphia, that they were the third best team all year in the East. And they thought, they're good, but they're not as good as Milwaukee and us. But apparently they are. It's going to go down to the wire. That's facts. All right, let me keep scrolling down here. Dust says, if we win tonight, I'm saying Seattle in 6. Yeah, and that's what the statistics and the analytics say, that we know that they can battle back. It's not like if we win this one, we think we're going to go, to Dallas or Seattle, wherever the game is at, right? That we're going to be able to win 2 in a row and just end it and be up 4-1 and go that route. We got to take it one game at a time, and we have to show love and respect for Dallas. But if we do fight history, right, and if we fight the momentum and we fight, everything, not in Seattle's history because they've only been around for 2 years, but statistically speaking, most good teams that drop a game 3 and possibly drop that game 1, they obviously revamp. The coach gets them wired and ready to go, and then they have a good focus, and then they bounce back, and they did in game 2. Now, will Dallas do this in game 4? I don't know, but I do agree. I think that if we do win this game and go up 3-1, the pressure's on. Dallas won't want to go out 4-1, and Dallas most likely would win the next game, and then we would win game 6. I 100% agree. But we will find out. 2-2-1-1-1. That's what I was thinking, but I wanted to clarify with you guys, based off travel, but I would assume that's how it's going to go. 2-2-1-1-1. Candace in the building. How are you? Right. I mean? And I know it doesn't look good, but again, Boston is good enough to win on the road. Philadelphia is good to win enough on the road. So it hurts lose. I mean, let's be honest, in the series, I don't think anyone thought it would be 3-2. Did people think that the game in this particular matchup would go 6 or 7? Yes. Right? Just same thing if Milwaukee was still in the playoffs. If it's Milwaukee, Philadelphia, or Boston, and they're playing each other, you would think it's going to go 6 or 7, but probably 7 because they're so equally talented, right? And this has been a weird year in the NHL. Seattle Kraken with the Florida Panthers, all these good teams getting eliminated already on the NBA side. MLB teams that normally suck are good. So this is kind of a crazy, weird year. Anything can happen, but I wouldn't count Boston out yet. Absolutely not. Let's go. Preston says, yeah, it's 2 in AAC, 1 in Seattle, 1 AAC. Okay, so back and forth, back and forth. And that's what it should be. Back in the day when we had like NBA, it used to be 2-3-2, but they would really go to that second team that had the 3 wins, because if you steal 1 out of the first 2 games and you win all the games at home, you win the championship. So that's not really fair for the best team that has the first 2 games and the last 2. What happens if you don't get to the last 2? So that's why they changed the format, not to penalize the number 1 seed, 2-3-2. So that way, if you don't get to those last 2, that's why they do 2-2-1-1-1 now to make it fair, which kind of makes sense. All right, let's go, baby. RS in the building, my boy. How are you? Good to see you back. How are you, bud? Let's go. All right. And you know what's really creepy and crazy? I took a nap and I fell asleep and my alarm didn't go off. And I literally woke up with 25 minutes to prep to make a thumbnail and get everything done. So I am actually a little shocked that I made it on time with everything. But here I am. I wasn't going to miss this for anything. Let's go, baby. First period underway. Stars, Kraken. Let's go. What's the news on McCann? Anyone have the extra details for me on McCann? Supposedly suited up and possibly, I don't know if it's just for support and he hasn't played in quite some time. Is he actually going to be out there and play? Is he going to be on limited minutes? What are we going to get? I'm kind of 50-50. Like, is this going to be a good thing for us? Like, but if anyone has any additional information for us, let me know here in Climate Pledge Arena, baby. Let's go. Oh yeah, and keep me updated on the the Mariners as well. I'm actually going to pull that up as well. I got to see if I can, let's see if it's on there. All right, perfect. Right, that's what they said, early on, that, this was going to be the first game in months and months and whatnot. And obviously, the injury. Oh, and it wasn't months and months and months, but you know what, for Seattle fans, that's what it felt like, that it was like months and months and months, even though it was really, more like days and weeks, obviously when he got injured in the, Colorado series and whatnot, but he was kind of the horse of the team, throughout the regular season. So it is kind of surprising to see that even with him going down, that they beat the Avalanche in 7, and they're, playing like they didn't even miss him here. 2 shots on goal for the Stars, 0 for the Kraken, baby. Let's go. See, that's what I was thinking. I thought only maybe a few shifts. I highly doubt that he's going to be out there full force. That probably wouldn't be a smart move for Hack. Oh, big save. Yeah, keep me updated on all the scores. If you guys want to keep me posted, NBA, NHL, MLB, the stuff that we care about. If anyone wants to put those scores into the ticker, obviously in the chat, if you guys want to do that, just to kind of keep everyone updated. I'm kind of taking a peek. Carolina and New Jersey, geez. I don't know. I feel bad for our boy Odin's son. He's a big Devils fan, and I think he kind of knew going into that series that they might be a little overwhelmed, that Carolina was going to win that series, more than likely. But you always hate, as a fan, to get your ass kicked at home, regardless of who you are, Kraken fans or, Devil fans, anybody. No one wants to lose 6-1, period. All right, we have a very active Game 4. Seattle up 2-1. McCann is back, which is very exciting. Limited shifts, more than likely, like Dusk said, but we are ready to go. Yes, please do. And, and like I said, even if you're kicking my ass and the Rangers are getting revenge, let me know. Let me know. And it's not even really revenge. It's just beating our ass 2 games in a row, since we should have probably won that game yesterday and we dropped the ball there. But, much respect to you guys. Like I said, that's, the difference between me and a lot of other, channels that are out there is I really do like to give the proper love and respect, for the other team that's playing, regardless of who they're playing, either my favorite team or someone else, because there's greatness all over sports. You just have to open your eyes and accept it. And of course, you're going to have your favorite team, your favorite players, and you can be biased and talk shit and everything. But it's always good to have a little good sports karma and show a little love. You never know about that guy that you're hating on. 4 years later, he might be on your team once his contract is up. It's just crazy how sports works that way. Uh-oh, we got an injury. He took a shot up high. Uh-oh. Boo. All right, what is this? Is this an actual penalty here, or is this kind of a little flop dog? Is this a little flopping action like in the NBA? Let me see. Usually hockey players don't flop. Oh, no, he got hit in the head. Okay, because I was going to say, you're not going to really see hockey players just go down and like act like they just got shot or whatever. He did get blasted in the face right there. Whoa. 10-0. Let's not get greedy. You already beat us yesterday. Come on, man. Let's make it at least an enjoyable game for us, right? What do we got here? We got, let me take a peek. Dodgers 6, Brewers 2. Okay, my dad is happy. Cardinals 4, Cubs 4. Sarah's happy. And it's still 0-0. Looks like the Rangers got a hit. They got a runner on first. Keep me posted, baby. Yeah, I mean, well, let's be honest. Last year, Colorado looked like the team of destiny. I didn't watch any NHL last year, like full games during the regular season. When the playoffs started, I was able to predict Colorado over the Lightning in 6. How was I able to do that? You know, it's just you can kind of tell, you know, certain teams are just meant to get there and win if they don't get hurt. I was also able to predict Warriors versus Celtics last year in 6, and Curry would get the MVP. And I didn't really watch all kinds of NBA last year either. So sometimes you just have to know analytics and know how, you know, the series typically will play out. And when you have 2 quality teams, it's not going to be a sweep. It's not going to be 4-1 and, you know, a team wins in 5. And the other team isn't good enough to get it to 7 games. So it really leaves one team winning 4, the other team winning 2, showing respect for that team that's winning 2, but they're just not there yet to win 3 or 4. And that's what we had with Tampa last year, and that's also what we had with the Celtics last year. But this year, Boston, most points, best record, history, broken. But they felt fugazi. They felt like a fraud kind of towards the end of the regular season, right? It kind of felt, are they hot and healthy? And I think that we thought that they would win the first round, but maybe they could get upset after that. But they ended up getting upset in the first round. And that's why this year, the NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, and the MLB regular season is kind of the craziest shit that I've seen in a while. Baseball teams that normally are shitty, like the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles, are good, right? And teams like the Cardinals and Yankees, Seattle, not so good. It's a little wild. You know, you got teams like Boston that should have went all the way. They lose in the first round. You know, but also right now we got 2 Cinderella stories in hockey, Seattle and Florida, which I love. And on the NBA side, we thought it was going to be Boston or Milwaukee, right? We thought Giannis or Tatum. It's going to be one of those 2 teams. They're going to go all the way. They'll probably play Denver or one of these teams. Now it looks like the Lakers, if they get past the Warriors, that they'll have a pretty good shot against Denver or whoever else when they keep going on in that particular series. But I mean, imagine if it ends up being like a Lakers Boston, or if Boston gets eliminated. What if it ends up being Lakers and the Sixers? Like, this is a really crazy time right now. And if you're a big bettor, you're probably losing a shitload of money. I definitely, you know, have a lot of ESP moments, but I wouldn't be betting on a lot of these games because I feel like the unexpected is what we expect. On the NHL side, whatever we think is going to happen, the opposite happens. On the NBA side, oh, we already know what's going to happen. Giannis or Tatum, Boston, Milwaukee, they're going to win in 6. It don't matter if it's going to be Denver, the Lakers, you know, the Suns, whoever. It don't fucking matter. The Warriors, it don't matter. But now it's like you're kind of scratching your head and you're like, each team that keeps going a little bit further, each, you know, powerhouse team choking, each lower seed, you know, living up to the expectations and taking it to another level. It's exciting, man. Unless you're a team that choked. Like if you're a Boston fan, not for the Celtics, but for like Bruins, that's going to fucking hurt. You know, it's like you broke history and they already labeled you champ during the regular season like Colorado, and you didn't even make it to the Stanley Cup. You didn't even get past the first round. So I know they will bounce back, you know, but definitely for the psyche, not a good thing. Fantastic for Florida and Seattle, though. I'll tell you that. Let's get to 100 in donos, baby. Not JT in the building. How are you? Let's go. And it's really cool for me to be able to tap into something that I loved when I was a kid, and I stayed away from it because I didn't have friends or family or people that I felt that I could connect with on this. And we didn't have a team until 2 years ago. So now, for following, like Gretzky and Lemieux and Hull, back in the day, and then taking about a 15-year break and now hopping back in, it feels really good. And not only that, is that not only will I do playoff hockey, even if Seattle gets eliminated, I'll keep going with, the matchups, but I'm going to do regular season moving forward on the channel for the rest of my life. So it feels good to tap into that, just like I tapped into NASCAR after taking about a 10 or 15-year break on that. And honestly, playoff hockey is more exciting than playoff NBA. I'm sorry. It just is. Unless we're talking about, like Celtics and Sixers, and it's going down to the last, 5 minutes and the game is tied, and, it's a lot of anticipation, but other than that, for a minute by minute, NHL blows the NBA out of the water. I mean, you could still have a 0-0 score, but I'm more entertained, with my eyes and my ears and just watching the intensity of the matchups. Big hits, fights, punches to the head, big saves, and also about the NHL, which is exciting. You have a opportunity for a flurry of goals where it could be 0-0 in the first period and they could score 6 goals combined in the second. You don't really get that in baseball that often. You do get that nice little rally where you'll get a few runs, and sometimes, teams will score 3, 4, 5, 6 in an inning. But sometimes that's a little bit more spread out. I feel it's a little bit more prevalent in hockey, and that's what makes hockey so awesome. This is the intensity, but the number one reason that the NHL playoffs are better than the NBA playoffs, the fans, period. NHL fans are super passionate. I mean, yes, NFL fans, obviously are going to get the most love in pub because it's going to be like the most popular thing in America. America's pastime used to be the MLB. No longer. It's the NFL. But I definitely have a new love and respect for hockey fans and obviously the NHL moving forward. So it's just awesome that, I'm able to dive in with Seattle as it's all happening live. And, we can go along for this journey regardless if we lose this series or if we're the Cinderella story and we make it to the Stanley Cup. And like I said, I'm not going to over exaggerate or, I guess I know Edmonton, Vegas, the Golden Knights. I mean, if we somehow got past Dallas, what is the likelihood of us getting past one of them? I think pretty good, at this point. But it might be like the Vegas Knights a few years ago where, they came in as the expansion, right? And they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup, but they lost. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But it would be wild and crazy if Seattle were able to get to the Stanley Cup in their second year. Even if they lost, that would be just an amazing experience. And then free agents would be on notice if they're not on notice already. And it'll be an exciting time moving forward, because that's the ultimate goal, I would assume, for Seattle. You're already in the playoffs in your second year, so the goal would probably be to try to get to a Stanley Cup final within 5 to 10 years. And I know that's really aggressive and that's tough, and there's so much competition in the NHL. But if Seattle can play like this, in the years moving ahead, and they might not make the playoffs every year, I get that, but it'll be exciting to kind of see what will happen for them in their future. I don't want this Cinderella story to end. Well, there's only been a couple matchups to me. Like we had the Knicks and the Cavs. That was a good matchup because you didn't know who was going to win. Warriors, Kings. That's a good matchup because you didn't know who was going to win. Lakers, Warriors. Great matchup. You don't know who's going to win. You figured it's going to go 6 or 7, right? Boston, Philadelphia. Good series, right? But, for me, like I said, the intensity, if you're watching it throughout a full game, there's only spurts in the NBA where it's exciting. A lot of times you're just kind of sitting there, you know what I mean? Unless you're getting like a big rally where Curry goes for 5 threes in a row, then you can go crazy or whatever. But how many moments like that do you see in the NBA playoffs? When you're getting a guy going 5, 6, 7 threes in a row, and a lot of the games are blowouts too. But I guess you could say the same on the NHL side, just like today, right? Not every game is going to be close. You hope the games are going to be close, and then you see Carolina 6, New Jersey 1. Tomorrow, the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. Tomorrow, Golden Knights and Oilers. Oh. And then we got Devils and Hurricanes. Thursday, Kraken and Stars, baby. Yeah, but unless you have a connection, but I think that we can at least be honest and say that the NBA hasn't been what it was since the bubble and COVID. You know what I mean? Like, definitely in the last few years, the NBA product hasn't been as good. Obviously, bringing the fans back is one thing. But for me, I mean, I'm a guy that loves defense, right? I like defense. You know, I like effort. I don't like fucking load management. I like to see guys being able to actually play defense, you know, for a full game or at least try to. And on the NBA side, I mean, it's just a lot of lazy play. You know, you got center shooting threes. Nobody plays D anymore. But there has been some good matchups, but not every matchup is a fantastic matchup on the NBA side. And obviously, with some of the powerhouse teams losing, it definitely opens the door for people to, you know, maybe spark a little interest. And regardless if you're a Laker fan or not, and obviously if you're like a Bucks fan, it hurts because you felt that maybe this was the year that you maybe could have went all the way besides Boston. But even Boston advancing to the next round is no guarantee. I think that's just an honest evaluation. You know what I mean? The NBA and WWE suck. I mean, can we just admit that? Overall, there's moments where the NBA is great. I'm not going to shit on it, but you know, sometimes the NBA is great. Sometimes WWE is great. But let's be honest, if you're a fan and you've watched like we watch on a regular basis, it's not as good as some of the other sports that's going on. It's not as good as NFL or college football. I mean, obviously MLB, you could argue it just depends if you're a fan or not, because MLB is a little slower. It's not going to be for everyone. NBA, MLB, NASCAR, NHL, not going to be for everyone. NFL, college football, wrestling, that's a little bit easier for most people to get into, you know. But I don't think the NBA has been that good, honestly, in the last few years. And a lot of their stars are to blame with the load management, you know, pulling the Kawhi. It's just not good for the league. And I mean, look at the NBA and what they, you know, provide you for like all-star festivities. It's a fucking joke, man. You know what I mean? It's not, they don't care. You know, they wanted to make it like an extravaganza, but nobody gives a shit about all those 360 dunks. I know most people would just love for them to play a game like a regular season or playoff game in the all-star game. You really want to be able to get the ratings back. Then you put guys like LeBron, you know, in the dunk contest. Obviously, it's too late for him now because he's old, but that's what you should have done if you actually, you know, were trying to make a product like the 80s and 90s. But it's just not the, you know, they just want to be able to fuck around and enjoy their time, you know, in the all-star festivities and go out to dinner with their boys. And, you know, they don't want to participate, a lot of them, in the three-point dunk or skills competition. So, nice deflection. 5 shots on goal for the Stars, 3 for the Kraken. 10 minutes gone by. Power play for Dallas, about 1 minute left. And I hope the NBA improves, and I hope WWE improves. But I think that's an honest evaluation. If you've been someone that's been watching that on a regular basis, it's just not the same. You know, but they still have its moments. You know, it's not like WWE is 100% trash, because it's not. You know, when Triple H took over, even though Vince is in the mix again, it's been better. But even with Backlash, you had 4 good matches and 3 shitty ones. So some things never change. And WWE will always be that way. Good defense, Seattle. Let's go. Oh! Seven shots on goal for the Stars. Very aggressive, like I figured they would be in Game 4. Let's go, baby. Oh. Oh, baby. Let's go. Eight minutes left in the first period. Seattle obviously being a little bit on the defensive. I think they, Hack already kind of coached them in this matchup. It's like, this is, if you want to be a great coach, elite, these are the moments where you have to be able to instill the fear, into your team and understand that, 2-1 is great, right? But they're going to be hungry, the Stars, to be able to even this up. So if you want to win the series and actually advance against the Golden Knights of Vegas, right, or the Edmonton Oilers, this is a must-win game for Seattle. Because if you do drop this game and go 2-2, can you still win in 6 or 7? Of course, you can. But you have a higher probability if you go up 3-1, I'll tell you that. Then we might be able to close it out in 6. Pavelski. I need to get a few more shots on goal, but the way that the flow of the game has started doesn't surprise me. But if we can try to be better on face-offs, and I want to be able to look at some of the stats here once we get to the end of the first period. But 8 shots on goal for the Stars, 3 for Seattle. Dallas with 3 hits, Seattle with 11. That's no surprise. We always like to be aggressive. Face-offs 1. No surprise. Dallas 5, Seattle 2. We need to improve on that. And penalty minutes, Dallas 0, Seattle 2. Come on, Kraken. Let's go. I'll show some love. I'm not a hater. Okay, baby. Let's go. And shout out to Sarah and Cyberpunk for helping me out on the Twitter side. Wow, what a save by Grew. Woo! Wow. Let's get it, baby. And we will only go as far as Grew will take us. Jameson in the building. How are you? Yeah, we need to get a dono train started. Who will be the first to help your boy? Hey, your Lakers are playing pretty good, Jameson. They're the favorite now, going up, 3-1. And if they keep playing like that, they might be able to find themselves in the NBA Finals. Who would have thought, being like a 13 seed a few months back, making all those amazing moves at the deadline, it paid off. And now you're, one step away from beating the Warriors and then advancing. And if you get past them, who's to say that, you can't go against that next team, in the playoffs. So pretty exciting for you. I know Warriors fans are probably kind of feeling a little of the heat right now and whatnot, but that's what makes this year so crazy. It's okay, Paisley. Try to get a couple of pictures of Joe here while we're waiting.
So why do we leave so much untapped potential on the table? This is the next level back. Our next level you. My circadian rhythm is kicking. Circadian rhythm is not a competition. I know.
Oh, Paisley, you're okay.
So it is a competition. Save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart pen, plus free home delivery when you have an adjustable base. Only at Sleep Number.
Back in Seattle, a moment ago, Pete DeBoer with Linda Coe.
Pete, what do you think?
I like our start, but you know what? We moved our team. We drew a penalty. We're putting some pressure on their goalie down there. Waters made a couple big saves for us, so far so good.
How about the player here on his team?
Yeah, tough kid, take a cut like that. No question whether he's going to play tonight out here doing what he does. He's all world.
Thanks, Pete.
That was all about response tonight. I think that's the key word. The response for Ottinger, the response by the Stars as a whole, the response for Haskin playing hurt.
All right, 6:48 left in the first period. No scoring yet, but you already know the flurry of goals will probably happen in the second period. That's kind of been the MO. But hopefully we can end up getting a cheap one here in the last 5 or 6 minutes. So, and typically Seattle scores first, but it doesn't always equate to a win. Come on, Kraken. 20 shot attempts for the Stars, only 7 for Seattle. Come on, baby. What do we got? Rangers and Mariners 0-0. Rangers have 3 hits. Mariners only have 1. What's new? At least that one's not too crazy. Cardinals and Cubs still knotted at 4. Dodgers 6, Brewers 2. Or Dodgers 6, Brewers 2. And then if you watched a little bit of hockey earlier in the day, you saw Carolina beat New Jersey 6-1. That's rough. And on the NBA side, we had some matchups obviously earlier today. And the Sixers ended up beating Boston on the road, up 3-2, 115-103. They won by 12. And then we have the Suns and Denver on right now as well. But I'm not surprised. You know, like I said, once Milwaukee went out with Giannis, I think that everyone's eyes kind of lit up. And I think a lot of people, including myself, probably, you know, took Sixers a little bit for granted. We knew they were good with Embiid. Embiid won the MVP, but I just didn't think their supporting cast on the roster. Every once in a while, Harden will play well, but they definitely have been taking it to Boston. And I think Boston really is at its own fault because, you know, they went to Jaylen Brown early in games and they don't go to him late. And they need to go to Jaylen Brown more than Tatum at the end of the game. And if they did, they probably would be up 3-2, not down 3-2. Facts. Ten shots on goal for the Stars, 4 for the Kraken. But, you know, for the Warriors to get past the Kings, you know, as a lower seed, like as a 6, that was one thing. But it took them, you know, 7 games. And obviously with LeBron, AD, and then the supporting cast, I think the Warriors probably thought it would be very competitive, but they would be the ones winning in 6 or 7. So it's probably a little shocking. But if you watched that game last night, Curry with those deep shots at the end was stupid. He should have passed it to someone else. Or when Draymond got that offensive rebound, he should have tried to go back up with it. But again, we know Draymond's not a very good shooter, even if it's from like 2 feet away. But there's no you know, reason for Steph to be shooting like 40-foot deep threes, you know. But it is what it is. You live and die by the 3.
Strawberry Frosty is back for the summer, so Tyler's been spending a lot of Frosty time outside.
What? Bro, you look like a strawberry. They don't even know. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. Hell boy. If you're lucky, you'll go through your entire life.
Will be the first to score for the Kraken today. Bjorkstrand? Possibly. And I don't know if we're going to have, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 goals by 8 different people, like we obviously had in game 3. Doesn't really feel like that today, but you never know. Could it be Maddie? Maybe. We'll see. He usually, Jordan usually scores every game. So it's a pretty high probability if Jordan ends up getting a goal. I don't know about multiple, but at some point you would think that Eberle will get loose. And we're only going to go as far as Grubauer takes us. As long as he's out there and he's healthy and he's being him, we have a good chance to, you know, keep this dream alive and keep moving. Seattle power play. Lindell to the box. 2 minutes for interference, baby. Here, we can take advantage right here. This might be the opportunity that we can take advantage of. But also, too, we need to be better on faceoffs. We're not very good. We are not very good. 14.8% this postseason on the power play. I would like to see that number a little higher as well, but Obviously, not everyone can get goals on power plays. That it's best case scenario or putting yourself in a good position, but it's not like you have 5 minutes in a power play where you can go through a line change and you can have a couple missed shots and gain some more momentum. It's 2 minutes. So we already know how fast 2 minutes goes in hockey. I mean, once a power play starts, it's pretty much over. You'd be lucky to get 1 or 2 shots up while you have the power play. Damn it. Good defense there by Dallas. 10 shots on goal for the Stars, 4 for the Kraken. Come on, Seattle. We need to be aggressive out here. But I hope that the Seattle players and the coaching staff and the fans, they're not like, oh, I hope they're not thinking, well, we won game 3. Whatever happens, happens. They really need to, have the pressure put on them because, again, if you go 2-2 and you lose this game, again, there is no guarantee that you win the series. But if you go up 3-1, you got probably like a 90% chance that you're going to win the series at that point, especially the way that Seattle has been playing. Hi, Paisley. 4-on-4. Come on, Seattle. Win a goddamn face-off. We'll have to keep an eye on that, Dusk, as well. I like looking at all the little analytics, with everything, too, because that shit does matter. 10 shots on goal for the Stars, 4 for the Kraken. Big hits, Seattle 11, Dallas 5. That will never change. We will always get more big hits, than the other team, especially in this series with Dallas. But the one that really irks me is the face-offs 1, Stars 8, Seattle 3. I mean, I can deal with penalty minutes here and there and face-offs and power plays and, these other categories, but the face-offs 1 is the most important. Vince Dunn, 2 minutes for slashing. Sarah's going to get it started. 42 minutes in. Hey, better late than never. We got to get that first one started, and then hopefully we can start a little dono train. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. $5 holla. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. $5 holla. 95 to go to hit the first goal. And, oh! Damn it. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. 1-0 Stars. Just as I look away for 1 second, I had a feeling something was going to happen there. Let me look at this again. Oh, my God. Yeah, there's no way you were stopping that. Woo! A heater. Nice job, Dallas. Ovi, okay, I'll get it during the commercial break. Or once we go to intermission here in like 2 minutes. We'll have a few minutes while we go there, and I'll get you some Alexander Ovechkin photos. 11 shots on goal for Dallas. Dallas up now 1-0. No surprise. Sports psychology, like I said, if you just know how sports is, in the playoffs, and the more that you don't look at it as black and white, but there is a gray area. Once you figure that out, then you can be a moneymaker. You can make correct bets. You can, have good predictions. But again, history is, meant to be broken, but it tends to repeat itself quite a bit. Oh! What a save. All right, let's get a photo up for the Dallas here. Jamie Benn. And I know Dusk will have the little message that will pop up here for us. And we'll even give them the logo there. 1-0 Stars. I'll even hit him with another one because I'm not a hater. It's good karma for us. You won't see any other Kraken channel do this, so I'll tell you that. All right, Jamie. Enough is enough. One is enough. 1-0 Dallas. They have been the more aggressive team on offense. I mean, we've been hitting hard, but we're not winning the faceoffs, and we just got to keep staying aggressive and get those shots on goal caught up to Dallas. We will get on track in the second period, I feel, just like we always do in every second period, but it is a little different for Seattle not scoring first, which is a little unusual. But again, just because we score first a lot doesn't mean you win. Less than a minute to go. Elliot in the building. What to do? Thank you, Dusk. I appreciate you. It's just adding those extra details will always help. You the man. Appreciate you. Oh, we got to hit him with the Stars logo. I got to make sure we all have it matching there. Stars go scored by Jamie Benn, assisted by Hans and Heiskanen. 17-13 in the end of the first period. 1-0 Stars. Well, I was like this, and then now I'm like this. All right. We still got time. Thank you, Dusk. Appreciate you. Mariners 2, Texas 0. Wow, what happened? How did we score? I'll take a look here, obviously, in the next 48 seconds, or I can peek right now. You know, being a part of being a streamer is having like 8 windows open and a bunch of tabs open, so you're always looking at fucking 10 things at once. No lie. 1-0 Stars, 45 seconds left in the first period. I'm looking at the box score of the Mariners here real quick. What happened? France singled to left, Murphy scored, and Haggerty scored. Oh, shit. Tom Murphy and Haggerty? Oh, okay. Not the best lineup, obviously, for us, but come on, Seattle. Let's go, Kraken. But I think, regardless of what the Kraken players, our fans say, I think a lot of them know that, realistically, that this more than likely will be a loss unless we can really dig deep. Now, if Dallas was like a pretender, like in that Florida series, going against Toronto, then yeah, I was like, okay, well, we can do this. But this is not a Maple Leaf team. This is a better team in Dallas. All right, end of the first period, 1-0 Dallas. All right, Jamie. I see you. All right, let's get some Ovechkin for your dono. And let's start off there. $5.95 to go. All right, let's try to get some Ovechkin photos here, and then we'll have a few minutes here while we're going into intermission.
Well, that's why he's a captain. Right. He does a lot of things for Dallas Stars, and sure enough, he's on the board today in the big game.
UK and Kelly also here. We're talking first period now.
Good morning. I'm Peter Davidson. Not Pete, because before 11 a.m., I like to keep it toned down and simple, just like Taco Bell breakfast. With fluffy eggs, sausage, melted cheese, and a crispy hash brown and a grilled tortilla. Nothing too wild, just like me. Peter Davidson. Isn't that right, co-host Rhonda?
Co-host?
We're on Breakfast with Peter. You're my co-host.
Are we on TV right now?
I don't know.
All right, let's try to get some photos up here. Obviously, Ovechkin's going to have a ton. And if there's anything else that you want to be able to see as well.
You were made to remember some days forever. We were made to help you find the best way there.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. And I always like when they do those matchups where they have like that one game where they do it like outside, from time to time. Those are awesome. I think this might be a picture from one of those type of events, where it's like outside in the afternoon and, you have like an outdoor venue. Those are always awesome.
Well, not brag, but I just switched my whole family to Verizon.
It's America's most reliable 5G network.
And it's only $35 a line.
I got that deal too.
Oh, hey, Kraken buddies.
This I don't need.
You should give me a call.
Visit your Verizon store and save big during our spring savings event. Get the Disney bundle with Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus included, all for just $35 a line. The savings you want on the network worth bragging about. Verizon.
Ovi. Oh, no way. Really? Do you know who they're playing? I would love to see that. And then where do they normally play the outdoor events? I'm trying to remember the ones that I've seen in like years past. Like I know there's a particular venue that they do it every year, like that one spot, and then maybe they'll expand it. But the outside hockey it's just unusual looking. Every time it's always in a dome, and just to be able to see like the sun shining and with the crowd around, and it's like when they're going to be doing these NASCAR races like in the streets of Chicago. They're going to be doing that next year and whatnot, and it's just going to be kind of crazy to think they're going to be doing that. I think maybe every year moving forward. But anytime you can get like a road race through like the city, unusual. I don't really know how that's going to work out. They're going to have to, mark off and tape off certain areas and whatnot. But imagine just like having coffee or sitting on top of a building, there in the city while you're at work and you're just seeing NASCAR cars going by. Kind of a cool concept. Matt in the building. What to do? Oh, Preston is all Dallased up. He says, I got the shirt on. I got the hat on. He says, I'm even hugging my Stars pillow and blankie. Hey, it's working right now. You're 1-0 Stars, buddy. Vegas. Ooh. 6-4. What's going on with your Cardinals? You guys are actually starting to win games now. Pretty wild. What else do you want to see? You got anyone else that you want to be able to see there? I'm doing good. 1-0 Dallas, first intermission. Go over some of the photos we have for both teams here while we're waiting. And if there's anything else that you want to be able to see, Sarah, let me know. And then next person that donates, then we'll be able to go over some photos of their favorite things. I am a little shocked, and I don't know if you are as well, Preston. Are you shocked that Jason hasn't been scoring? Like, obviously we know Joe is the man. Joe is the man. We know this, right? Joe is, on a whole nother level, right? But are you kind of surprised Jason hasn't been that active? I am. We're already into game 4, and has he even scored in this series? I don't think he has. I don't think he's even put up a goal yet, and we're already in game 4. Pretty wild. But again, I'm not going to try to jinx myself. Then he goes off for like 1 or 2 goals at one point, but a little shocked that he hasn't gotten on the board yet. But we already know how good Joe is, baby. He's money.
Yeah, it's simple. They know puck's deep, but they're not going to stop. So I think 50-50 check. Just get it deep, get on their deep, get back.
A nice job by Jamie Benn to get that first goal. But like I said, it's all about mindset. If Seattle can still stay aggressive, but really the big thing, and let's go over to the Seattle side here, and we'll go over some of the photos. But digging deep in analytics and the stats is pretty much what I do on all levels of sports, right? And you got to be able to look at the key stats. 11 shots on goal for Dallas, only 5 for Seattle. Hits, Dallas with 5, Seattle with 12. Face-offs 1. This is the biggest one of them all. Dallas 12, Seattle 4. Okay, we got to find a way to be better there. And penalty minutes, Dallas 2, Seattle 4. Come on, baby. And Bjorkstrand's been a little quiet since game 1. It would be nice for him to get on the board today. Maddie, we're waiting for you too. I need to see some highlights of this matchup. I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing, and it was a rout. Let's go, Gru. And again, we will only go as far as that he takes us. But it feels good to have someone that we believe in. It's always a shitty feeling when you're, like a hockey team or like a baseball team and you have a shitty goalie or a shitty pitching. It's like, you got guys that can, get home runs or get goals. But if you don't have a good goaltender, it doesn't mean anything. At that point, it's like if you don't have a good goaltender, then you put so much pressure on your team that they got to score like 5 every game to be competitive. And that's not realistic to, for long-term success to try to score 5 every game because your goalie stinks. So at least on Seattle's end, when we got a good one there.
This next one is about the importance of friendship, so I'm going to maintain eye contact while I sing it.
Oh, he's praying to the posters in the room too. Okay, you got the full, but you got the shirt on, the hat on, you got the pajamas on, the pillow, the blankie, and then now he's talking to the posters in the room. I get you, bud. Seth freaking Rollins. He says he's missing. Yeah, I know, right? Right. And I get it with guys getting cold a little bit, right? I get that. But it's a little, surprising for one of the, top guys on the team. He's not Joe, right? But he is a guy that, throughout the regular season made some pretty big plays and he's pretty reliable. But, I mean, to go 4 games without one, like you would think that a player of his caliber would have at least 1 goal in 4 games. Am I right or am I wrong? You know what I mean? It's not like he's a garbage player. Obviously, I wouldn't have photos of him in the fucking stream if I didn't respect him and I thought that he was a good player. He ain't fucking Joe, but still, nothing in 4 games is a little odd. But hopefully I don't jinx myself now. That's facts.
What's in your wallet?
But I always like to be able to show that love and appreciation too, because like I said, you get fans like Preston. Obviously he's going to be looking for a stream to be able to watch. But normally you're not going to be able to go to an opposing fan stream and feel like so welcomed. You're actually getting your logo on the screen. You're getting photos of your players. It's not just a Kraken stream. It's a Stars and Kraken stream. And that's how I usually try to do everything. I can still have like my favorite team, but I'm not going to be biased and I'm not going to just, do Seattle stuff only, which most people do. But, it's good to be able to respect the greatness that's across from you. And Dallas is fantastic. That's facts. Yeah, they do have depth. Absolutely. Hey, big win for you, David. Big win. I know you're still waiting on the Phillies to kind of get things going and whatnot after maybe the All-Star break. But hell, if the Sixers can get past Boston, who's to say that they can't maybe get to the finals and maybe win it all? It'd be kind of crazy if we end up getting a Lakers-Sixers final. Lakers-Boston would probably be pretty good for sports in general. But again, you're up 3-2. And, it's like you didn't expect Milwaukee to lose with Giannis, for him to get hurt and to miss all those free throws. So that's one team, powerhouse, out of the way. And then the other one that was most likely to win the championship, you got them on the ropes. So even though you're the 3rd best team in the East, you might be able to represent the East when it's all said and done. Unless you guys win this series and lose to Miami. I doubt that would happen. $5. Let's get to a hundo. 95 to go. Yeah. That's awesome. And like I said, I just started, doing games, just with the Colorado Avalanche and the Kraken Game 7 was my first game. Like I said, I've watched, I did some, watch party stuff, I believe, last season as we went to the NHL playoffs. Sometimes I'll do like Stanley Cup in certain matchups, but, I didn't really have a whole lot of interest on the NHL side to follow it like an insane person does with like football and, all the other main things, NFL, college football, wrestling, where you're just following everything. But obviously now with Seattle having a team, it's all meant to be. So it's good. And plus, I am Northwest Sports Fanatic, so it's nice to be able to get that Mariner coverage in. We don't have the Sonics. I'm more Blazers anyways. But to get that Mariner coverage and that Kraken coverage. And obviously, we'll do some Seahawks stuff as well. but we'll do all 32 teams on the NFL side. So we'll be very busy. So we got hockey now, NBA playoffs, right? We got wrestling going on. Then we get into the fall, we'll have NFL, we'll have college football. We still sprinkle a little NASCAR. So there really isn't anything that we won't touch. We really try to do as many events as possible, like that main top tier event. So true, right? But I mean, that would be just shocking, because if you would have told people that Lakers and Sixers might be the teams that might face each other in the finals, and if you would have said that 2 or 3 weeks ago, people would be laughing. They'd be like, well, maybe. I mean, they both have been playing like top 3 teams in the conference. Maybe Lakers, we didn't really know if they were going to be able to sustain this, with their role players besides, LeBron and AD doing them, and then having the other guys step up. But again, the moves that were made at the trade deadline were very good. And is it really a surprise that they got the Warriors on the ropes after what they did in the trade deadline? It shows you, if you make smart moves at the right time and you have right chemistry, you get rid of guys like Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley. You bring in guys that are a good fit for the team. And do you really think that the Lakers would be here if they still had Beverley or Westbrook? They wouldn't be. So I know Laker fans like Jameson are excited for the opportunity, because at one point it looked like maybe they would be a team that might be able to be one of the teams in the West final, maybe, right? And then now they're the most favored team in the West because they got the Warriors on the ropes. All right, we're almost done with this intermission, baby. Let's go. And shout out to all the people that have commented, liked, and subbed. I appreciate that. We're starting to gain some ground, getting a little bit closer to that 20,000 subs. We're at 19,824. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Slowly but surely, we will get to that number. And I feel that, we will do that with baseball and the NHL. Those are going to be the 2 driving forces to get us to that 20,000 mark, since we're not in football season. And obviously, as we know, the NFL market and the NBA market are kind of oversaturated and whatnot. So this is a good opportunity for me to dive in, like with NASCAR last year, a little bit this year, but primarily this year with the NHL and now MLB. And then I'm excited, for the future for the Kraken and other matchups too. And I know regular season Kraken matchups aren't going to be as probably highly viewed as playoff matchups, but we will start to have a Kraken following, because there's not a lot of people that are actually doing the Kraken, or doing the Mariners for that matter. So if I can get myself out there as being the Mariner guy, that Mariner guy on YouTube, or that Kraken guy, and then we can start getting more of those people, not just people in the Northwest, but just hockey fans and baseball fans in general. So, but shout out to you guys for supporting the cause. I appreciate that very much. All right. What did you want to see, Sarah? You want some Seth Rollins before we get back? I got that. And hopefully Seth will be the new belt holder. I do actually like the new design of the new WWE belt. Seth is long overdue. And you were right, Sarah, that Monday Night Raw last night was kind of a snooze fest. That's the problem, when you have an amazing crowd from Puerto Rico at Backlash, and then you come back, to the States, right? And then the crowd just fucking stinks, dude. Like, you can even have like great matches, on the card, but if the fans aren't into it, I mean, it's really hard to get into when the fans are quiet. That's facts. And that goes for any sport. Fans are so important for hockey, football, basketball, baseball. And even though wrestling, WWE or AEW, NJPW, ROH, maybe it's not necessarily considered a sport, but we know obviously what it was like during COVID with those monitors and whatnot. And it definitely wasn't the same. But this is my favorite, Seth freaking Rollins, the Shield Seth. That's definitely my favorite. And hopefully we can tap into a little bit of that, moving forward. But Backlash actually wasn't too bad. 4 good matches, 3 average ones, and that's kind of the MO for WWE. And hopefully we'll get some goats to come through, show some love. Just making sure I don't got anything missing here. All right, we got the Kraken. And I know by me doing the Kraken stuff, there's not a lot of people doing it, but it is a good opportunity, to start early with the franchise, because the earlier you start with the franchise, the better success you're going to have long term. And that's big facts. Yes, we do. And what is the key stat, Dusk, that we need to be able to improve on in the second period if we want to be able to get this knotted up at 1 or to go on a flurry of goals? And you know it, and I know it. It's face-offs 1. We cannot go 12-4. It has to be something like 8-6, where we're just a little bit behind them, but we're close. You know what I mean? And then that might be the difference. We're always going to be more physical. We're always going to have more hits. Dallas is going to have more shots on goal for probably game 2 and game 4 because this is must win for them. They know if they lose this game, the series is over. I don't know if anyone really thinks if Seattle goes up 3-1 based on how they played against Colorado, and if they go up 3-1 against Dallas, even Dallas fans, I think, have to admit, if they lose this game, the series most likely is over. You're probably not going to force game 7 being down 3-1. Now, could they win 3 games in a row being down 3-1? Yes, they could. They are good enough, but I feel that we can do this. You know it, bud. I appreciate you very, very much, and that's another thing about doing like Major League Baseball with the Mariners and all the other teams, Dodgers for my dad and all the other great teams on Major League Baseball, but now with hockey, being able to meet people like you that have that passion and that love, that also are willing to go the extra distance for me on the channel by putting in the goals, who assisted, and that little information. I really do appreciate you. And it's a good bond that we have, and it's awesome to be able to have you a part of the channel, brother. Now, you always got to have your right-hand man, you got to have certain experts, when you do these certain matchups, NHL, NBA, MLB, NFL. And, you can feel like an expert yourself, but it's always good to be able to have a few people there, that may know a little bit more than you in that particular sport or that particular team or player. And I'm always willing to learn, and I always love learning. I mean, I'm already putting in 4, 5, 6 hours a day, typically reading and watching film. And that's why I try not to be biased. And I try to learn everyone as a whole in every league. And it takes a lot of time and effort. It's not easy. You know what I mean? But I feel if you're not biased and, you try to be able to appreciate greatness, you see the league as a whole different than someone that's just a hater that just likes their team and says, fuck everyone else. You can't really appreciate the sport as a whole unless you start appreciating all the great players from all the teams in general. And I think that goes for everything. NFL, college football, MLB, NHL, NASCAR, and obviously NHL, baby. All right, we're in the second period. 1-0 Stars. This is us. Let's go. You know it, Dusk.
Screen provided by Miller, and I'm sure the right spot is able to ice that one down after taking it off the glove.
Only the third time the postseason that Seattle did not score the game's first goal. Ford wins the draw. Bjorkstrand, wrist shot blocked. Ford. First 2 into the corner. Back to Susie. Fluttering up behind the net. Pass to Simon. Overskated by Ford. Away hits. An outlet to Pavelski across the line.
I got to put Ottinger up here, too. I don't want to be biased and just only put up Grew up here. We got to make sure that we're showing love for Dallas as well. And I feel that it's like the sports gods listen, you know what I mean? Like the more of an asshole you are and the more of a hater you are and the more of a bad attitude that you have, I swear, bad shit happens. Like the more bad shit always happens when you have that mentality. And once you start having a little bit of gratitude and having a little bit of appreciation, not only for your team, but the other team, I feel things kind of start falling into place. And like I said, I try to be kind of a breath of fresh air in the, YouTube sports world. Because like I said, how many channels out there, where you got people that are just dumb as fuck, that don't really know anything. They might have, nice thumbnails, or they might have a good presentation, but you can always tell the people that read and watch film and actually know sports, or the people that are pretending. And just because you yell and scream like Stephen A doesn't mean that you're right or you know what you're talking about. Facts. It's just so many bad personalities, I feel, that are ruining sports. It's like, I get it that people love World Star and they love seeing people get knocked out. They love people being ignorant, and being loud and mouthy, and they love seeing people fight and talk shit. You know what I mean? But with everything that's going on with COVID and mental health and everything, I mean, at some point people should learn, you know what I mean? You just got to be able to have that gratitude. And you have that gratitude, good shit happens. Let me tell you. Icing. Wow, there you go, Sarah. You were like, I'm never watching this fucking team again. Fire everybody. They did Jordan Walker to AAA, and they were like, everyone's just doing shitty. But it was that Goldschmidt 3 home run game, and that started to get the wheels turning. And I'm happy for you because I know how much you love baseball, basketball, football, hockey. You love everything like me, and that's why you're my lead. You're my lead mod for a reason, because you read and you actually watch just as much as me. And there's not very many people that are on my level with so many things. And I just hate to see you suffer. And I'm really happy that they're starting to get back on track. Now, the Mariners and the Cardinals, we might not make the playoffs this year, right? But, any win is better than just getting your ass kicked repeatedly over and over and over again. So awesome. I'm glad to hear that. But it also shows you how much of an impact Pujols and Yadier Molina had on that team. Like, they got Contreras and they thought, well, this is going to work. It hasn't really worked. And Contreras is no Yadier Molina, and I think we know that now. Ooh, that's a good one. 12-1 on the takeaways. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, well, like I said, this is, they're in their expansion year. Well, obviously we had the Vegas Golden Knights a few years back, right? They made it to the championship, but they just weren't able to win it. What was that? Was it the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Caps? Who was the opponent for the Vegas Golden Knights when they were in that expansion year and they made that run? Obviously with their amazing goalie, and then they ended up, losing in the Stanley. Was it the Caps that year? I know someone will know. Dallas 1, Seattle 0, 7 shots on goal for the Kraken, 13 for the Stars. Okay, so now I'm not a complete idiot. I still have the memories. Like, even though if I don't watch a sport like in entirety or on a regular basis, I usually have pretty good memories of things, or people will mention things and I'll remember. So let them know. And hopefully we get some of our regulars to come in to start a little dono train. I know you started one, and we'll see where we can get. Like I said, all it takes is one person to show that love, and then it kind of snowballs. One person leads to 2, 2 leads to 3, and that's for anything. Comments, likes, subs, donos, just that overall support, sharing the channel on Twitter for me. So I do appreciate that. And it's been a little light we had a couple really strong days. And then it's been a little light the last couple days, but, you just have to, every day is a different opportunity to be able to, prove yourself and have fun and, do the dream, because this is, my full-time job. So obviously, when you're doing something full-time, nothing is guaranteed, but you just hope that the right people show up to take care of you. Oh! And this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Seattle, like I kept telling Megan, and a lot of the Seattle Kraken fans were like, well, we're going to go up 3-1. We're going to go all the way. We're going to go to the Stanley Cup. You got to pump the brakes. And that's why I'm so good with ESP and predicting games a lot of times, even when we have a crazy year, like in this NHL playoffs, the NBA playoffs, or MLB in the regular season. History repeats itself over and over and over again. And with a team like Dallas, who should have won game one, they lost in OT. Joe had 4 goals. They bounced back in game 2. We ended up, kicking their ass and coming back to Seattle in that last game in game 3. But they know that game 3 was a must-win for Seattle to set the tone for the mentality of it, right? The psychology of sports. But this is a must-win for Dallas, and they're playing like it. So if we lose this game, which it looks like we might, right? It's not a surprise. This is not a Toronto Maple Leaf team like Florida's playing. This is a team that can beat us. And this is a team that could match up against the Vegas Golden Knights or the Oilers. Who's to say that Dallas can't make the Stanley Cup? You know what I mean? Like, out of the teams that are left, who's going to make it? No one really knows. I know if it ends up being Seattle and Florida, that would be the craziest shit ever. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Get him done. Get him, Vince. Domi. Juice in the building. Yeah. We have a New Jersey Devil fan, Odin's son. He's the first OG to the channel. He was the first one to really believe in me and donate to me a few years back, as far as donos are concerned. And he's been a Devil fan since he's been a little kid. But I think he knew, the struggles during the regular season, that it looked like maybe they weren't even going to make the playoffs. Then they recovered midway to the end of the regular season, but they just don't seem like a team that's Stanley Cup championship worthy. They're in the playoffs, but it kind of feels like they're only going to get to this point. So 4-on-4, nice little scrap there, and maybe that'll give Seattle a little bit of life. But again, if we don't win faceoffs, we can still stay aggressive with the hits, but we have to find a way to get on the board right here. We have to put the Band-Aid on, stop the bleeding, and we have to get this to 2-1 before this period ends. We cannot go down 3-0. If it goes down 3-0, it's over. I think we already know that, because at that point, if it's 3-0, the chances are Dallas isn't done. They'll probably end up getting to 4 or 5 or 6 goals. But if we can minimize what they do in this period, maybe give up only 1 more or none, and we can find a way to get at least 1 or 2 goals in this period, I still like our chances. But again, I had a feeling that Dallas, it was a must-win game, that they were going to win this game. Not over yet. Not over yet, but we're just too young, you know what I mean? And Dallas is too good of a team. And now, again, if we were playing a shitty team like Toronto, maybe, we would go up 3-1 and win this game, but we're not playing Toronto today, are we? And I don't think Toronto's shitty. Don't get me started with that. But, going against Florida, you don't really look like that good of a team. But again, Florida, you got to give them the credit. Toronto's not a bad team. They are a good team, but they're just not playing like it. I was waiting for you so I could update everything. Appreciate you. 2-0 Stars. Let's get another photo up for them.
Will retreat. 8 seconds to go before Domi and Dunn make it 5-on-5.
I'm getting a Harley photo up here for you guys.
Schwartz's pass deflects off a stick into the crowd. 12:42 to go in the second. 2-0 lead.
Way to punch me in the mouth there, Stars goal by Thomas Harley, assisted by Domi. Give it around 4:48 of the second period. 2-0 Stars. Oh, I got to put up the proper logo. I'm an attention to detail kind of guy too, so I always like being able to put in more work than most people are willing to do, especially for the opposing team. even if it makes me feel like this right now. And then I'm like this right now inside. But hey, got to give the proper love. It's just going to be good karma for us, if we go 7 games or 6 games. I don't think so. I mean, like I said, wishful thinking, Juice, but the way that this game is going, highly unlikely. If anything, we have a bigger chance of getting blown out than actually us coming back and winning this game, to be honest. We're already up 2-1, so we're already playing with house money. You know what I mean? This is a must-win game for Dallas, not a must-win game for us. That was a must-win game for us last game to set the tone to go up 2-1, right? Because you don't want to lose 2 games in a row and then play this game and lose 3 in a row, and then the series is already over. So he says, have hope, but I have to be realistic. I can't be a dumbass, right? You know what I mean? You have to be realistic with things. You just can't be this biased fan. And you can have hope, and it is possible, but just the flow of the game does not really show that we're going to win this game. We dominated in game 3. Dallas is dominating game 4. What's up, Preston? You change into your little jams or what? He says, I got the pajamas. I got the little flip-floppies. I got my slides. He got my T-shirt. He's got Dallas Stars, everything. He's praying to the Dallas Stars gods. He's praying to his Joe poster in his bedroom. 2-0 Stars. And that's one thing I think that makes me different compared to everyone else that's out there on YouTube and Twitch, is that I feel that, even if it's my team, you can still be critical and be honest. You don't have to just be this biased fan where it's like cracking this, cracking that, fuck everyone else. We're going to win it all. It's just not a good mentality to be like that. And honestly, it gets annoying when you hear people that are like that. I get it. You can be a super fan of a team, but not giving credit where credit is due. It's like, it kind of reminds me of like on the NFL side when I would do like Saints games, and obviously I cover the NFC South pretty heavily. And like with the Saints fan base, some of them are great, right? But some of them are toxic as fuck. And they don't even hang out with each other in their own fan groups because they fucking argue with each other. Yeah, man, so close. Ottinger. Oh, I thought that was in. No, Jamie Benn, first goal. Thomas Harley, the second goal. I got the photo for you, too. I got here right here for you. Dusk is always going to go the extra mile, and I will as well. Even if it hurts me throwing up the fucking Dallas logo and all these photos, but it just makes the experience overall better, not only for me visually, but for the fans. And then it also makes it a kind of a safe place for anyone to come through, and also that you're not going to get harassed the whole game as the visiting fan. Because I feel like if you are a visiting fan and you go to other people's streams, a lot of times you get shit on for no reason and people start like picking fights with you, and then you don't even really want to be there anymore. It's like you may like the host, you may like some of the people in the room, but a lot of times, we already know people are assholes, and they like to be extra and be unnecessary. And I want to make sure it's like a good vibe for Kraken fans, but for NHL fans and for Stars fans as well. I mean, that's how I would want to do it, and I just try to go the extra mile for you guys and put in that effort because you guys deserve it. And plus, I'm a hard worker, it's like, I mean, I've been doing this shit for 11 years. I mean, there's not very many people that have that kind of dedication to anything in their life. 7 years on YouTube, 11 years recording. I mean, it's the dream. It's the goal. I always knew it was going to be something I was going to be able to. Oh, there it is. What did I say? Juice said, I see Seattle coming back maybe overtime tonight. And this is why maybe where I'm at is, he said, have hope, but you just know. If you watch sports, He's like, damn, this guy knows. And there it is. 3-0 Stars. Well, there's so many people that are idiots and that are biased out there anyways. Like I said, how many channels can you honestly say that you've watched on like YouTube or Twitch that are 100% not biased? I feel I'm one of the only ones that's really out there, because no matter if I'm rooting for my teams or not, sometimes you won't even really know what direction I'm going because I'm just going to keep it 100 all the time. You know, if my team is doing good, you're going to know it. If my team sucks, you're going to know it. And if my team is doing something stupid, you're going to know it. I'm not going to give them a free pass just because they're my team. Oh, Seattle is challenging. Oh, Preston. Preston's got all the gear on in his house. All right. He's got the skates on. He's got the jersey. He's got the hockey helmet. No wonder you guys are up 3-0. OG in the building. How are you, bud? I like the photo of your dog. I'm a big dog guy. You do, I mean, there's a lot of times where I do speak things into existence, you know what I mean? But it's also having to be not biased because I feel a lot of times, people think with their heart and they bet with their heart. And that's when you go broke, because you're betting with your heart and your love for that team, that player, and you have so much love that you feel, but you have to bet with this. If you're not betting with this and you're not making good decisions with this, you're going to lose money and you're going to look like an idiot a lot of times. You know what I mean? Because like I said, you have to be able to separate your heart and your love for the teams and the players and actually start thinking like, because the reason why I'm so good at it is that even if I have two teams playing and one of them is my team, I try to act like I can be in the shoes of the coach and the players of each team. So I try to put myself in the shoes of like, being someone, like Preston, or someone else, that really loves Dallas and what they're about. And so once I start tapping in to what it would be like to be a Dallas fan, it gives me a proper perspective moving forward. So that way I can give good predictions moving forward. And that's what I do with everything. On every team, on every player, I always try to put myself in the shoes of someone else. And maybe that's why I'm so good with people, and obviously I vibe with people so well. You have to have a good aura and a good vibe. But there'll be times where I'll just meet strangers and people will open up and tell me like their deepest secrets in their life within like 20 minutes. Like I'll be at a party and then, I'll meet someone and we'll vibe and I'll just have a real talk with them and then they'll just open up. But a lot of times when people open up, I'll be very appreciative and I'll let them know, how much courage it takes to open up to someone, let alone a guy. It's easy to open up to females, but imagine being a guy opening up to another guy about personal shit. Guys don't talk to other guys about personal shit. They just keep it inside, deep down. And then at one point they fucking explode when they're mad. A lot of times that's what happens, right? It's like you bury it down deep. But a lot of guys have mental health issues as well as girls because we don't talk. And that's a good thing for this channel as well. Because I go through depression, I go through anxiety, but, I'm a super sports fan. I'm a fanatic, but I'm just like a lot of y'all. My work ethic is, a top tier, but I still go through a lot of the same struggles as a lot of y'all. I mean, if I didn't have my puppy, I don't even know where the hell I would be. Puppy saved my life. No lie. Like, so, you got to be able to appreciate the little things in life. And, I just like to be able to connect with you guys and, just be honest and genuine and real. There's just so many, people out there that ruin it for everyone else. And it's about time we have a channel where people can come and feel good and have a good vibe and a good room with a good community. Facts. So what do we think about this goal here? Is it going to be reversed or no? Oh, 3-0, I figured. I tried to, man. A lot of times I can do that too. Yeah, right. You're the man, Matt. And don't ever feel that it's not football season. If we do streams that aren't football, it's okay, bro. You know what I mean? You can bring up football stuff, but if you end up wanting to bring up stuff that's going on in Hawaii, you don't have to have it only football. You're always welcome to hang out here, regardless if it's football season or not. So never feel like if you have nothing to say that you're not contributing. You just being here on a daily basis means a lot to me. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people that are going to be as loyal as you. So, there's going to be some people that are going to donate heavy to me. There's going to be some people that never donate to me. There's going to be people that donate once in a while, and there's going to be people that are going to be regulars. And I do appreciate you. So always remember that. Anthony's got it right here. Yep. But a lot of people, don't know how to handle that. Oh, fight! Oh, we're pissed now because we know the game is over. So now it's fisticuffs. Punch to the face, punch to the face. How about another punch to you? Hey, you want a punch? You want a punch? It's a punch fest. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of times that people can see that. You can tell when someone talks, like the aura and the vibe. Are they full of shit? You know what I mean? Which a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers are. But every once in a while, you'll find someone, that has a good community, and we have a good thing going here. That too, you know what I mean? And that's another thing. I feel that, me having the problems in my life and expressing to people that I'm not okay a lot of times. And a lot of times this is therapy for me, to be able to talk to you guys while we watch, whatever big event, in sports is going on at the time. But it's very therapeutic for me. And I know it's therapeutic for a lot of the people in the room because a lot of our mods and regulars have the same issues as me. Depression, anxiety, and other issues that are going on in their life. That's facts. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, dude. Prayers up. Sorry to hear that, Vampire. Prayers up to you and your family, man. After Logan Gilbert had 10 Ks, but Gray had 8? So, all right, let's get a photo for Max.
Give ammunition to the opposition, and maybe you're getting a little bit hot and bothered by all of this traffic in front of your net. Well, Jamie Benn was in the penalty box for a moment. Now he has been sent back to the bench and is going down the tunnel. Rove Hintz is in the box. Adam Larson has been put in. They're not already in there to serve the minor after the failed challenge. But now Larson leaves the box, and it's going to be McCann.
Max Domi says it by Joel Hanley. 3-0 Stars. But I was already able to predict the kind of this outcome even a couple games ago. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you follow sports, and I've been watching since 85, I know I look young, but I'm 41, right? So I know that's mind-blowing to some people that are new to the channel or people that have, been around. But a lot of people have, there's just no way that you're 41. But I've been watching, sports and wrestling since 1985, since I was 3. So once you get into watching sports with your family member, dad, mom, brothers, sisters, in looking at the back of sports cards, analytics, stats. I mean, that's always, I'm a big sport card collector and a toy collector, but that was one thing, I love playing, Nintendo and Genesis and playing with my friends outside, basketball, baseball, football, and all that. But one of the reasons why I am the way that I am is with stats and analytics. Most people, when they collected cards, they would look at the picture at the front. I'd always flip the card over to the back. I was always interested in what college they went to, height, weight, batting average, how many home runs, whatever it may be. And I've always been a stat guy and an analytical guy, always trying to go a little bit deeper than most people. And it's definitely served me well. Dallas power play, 1:17 left in the second period. And like I said, Dallas 3, Seattle 0. Juice thought we would come back. And I said, you know what? There's a bigger chance of this game being a blowout than us coming back. And looks like the sports gods are listening. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, but also too, I'm half Asian too. So my mom is 100% Japanese, and my dad is Czech and European. So you throw a dart on a board, and I probably got a little bit of whatever, German, French, whatever. There are all kinds of European countries there, but primarily Japanese and European countries. But my dad is check. So you don't really, it's kind of a unique combination and whatnot. My dad was in the military, as you know, a lot of people were. My dad was in the Air Force and met my mom in Japan, and I'm blessed to be here in the United States. Oh, there it is. 4-0 Stars. Well, Juice, we're not coming back, bro. Power play goal, unassisted, Joe Pavleski. 4-0 Stars. I don't know. Sometimes I feel that if people don't know like how series work, they get worked up too much. Like if you're a Seattle Kraken fan and you don't really watch sports in depth and you don't pay attention, to the little analytics and the other little things that determine a series, you might have been going into this game thinking that we were going to win, just blindly. And then you get over emotional and you get pissed off. And now you're, punching the wall, yelling at, random people because now Seattle is down 4-0. But if you know how sports works and the psychology of sports, you should have already known that chances are 90% that Seattle was going to lose this game tonight. They won game 1 in OT. Joe had 4 goals. We stole game 1. They came back in game 2, punched us in the mouth. Then the series moved to Seattle, an opportunity for us to punch them in the mouth with our crowd, with that Uncle Mo, that Uncle momentum. And then this is a must-win game for Dallas, and they're playing like it. You know what I mean? But a lot of times I feel a lot of people, they make dumb bets, and they think with their heart rather than up here. They don't take into consideration who is the team that needs to win this the most, right? And it's not Seattle, and obviously it clearly shows with a 4-0. I mean, we're not going to get shut out. We'll score at least a goal or 2 before the game is over, but we're not winning this game. You should have consulted your boy. I could have helped you, save yourself from winning some money. I mean, there is a reason why people usually come to me for predictions as well. $5. Let's get to a hundo. What a light day today. Last 2 days have been light. We need to get some of our mods in here to show some love, man.
Start today at GoDaddy.com. Need to be at your best? You need an antiperspirant that goes beyond. Introducing new Gum-Man with 72-hour protection plus care for your skin.
Yep, that's true. Very, very true. And the best example of taunting and talking shit, who is it this year? Toronto, right? They're like, we want Florida. They're like, they're a bunch of bitch asses. They're not that good, even though they beat Boston, and that was like the best team in the world this year. Most points, best record, groundbreaking shit. We want Florida. We want them. We're going to beat their ass. And then they come into your building and then punch you in the mouth, win the first 2 games in Toronto, and then win game 3 in Florida. I mean, they might sweep. So you got to always be careful what you wish for. And if you're a cocky fan base, you will get slapped in the mouth. That is facts. Stars power play goals. Joe Pavleski, assisted by Robertson and Heiskanen. 10:50 of the second period. 4-0 Stars. I know. But sometimes when you know, you just know. You know what I mean? Like when you know, you know. And I know a lot of times where a lot of Kraken fans right now are just irate, livid, right? But you just have to be humble and just be even keel. You can't get too high. You can't get too low. Just appreciate what you're seeing in front of you. Know that, Seattle will rebound in game 5. But again, this wasn't like a for sure thing that we were going to win this series anyways. So the way that the flow of this game is going, right? If Dallas wins, which they will, it's 2-2. Oh, there's our first one, baby. There we go. But, more than likely Dallas will win in game 5 and go up 3-2. Then we have to come back to Seattle, win game 6, 3-3. And then we're going to have to steal one in Dallas in game 7, just like we did in Colorado. There we go. The sports gods are like, well, we don't want you to get shit on too much, oh. There we go. Yeah, you aren't going to get a shutout, which I just said about a minute ago. I told y'all we're not going to get shut out ever. Jaden Schwartz, baby. Here we go, baby. Jaden Schwartz, assisted by Justin Schultz and Alex Wenberg. 4-1, Dallas. Yeah. But also the Avalanche, everyone and their mama knew that they weren't going to repeat this year. I mean, maybe Avalanche fans thought that they were going to repeat, but I think most, hockey fans and sports fans in general knew that they weren't going to win it this year. And a lot of people had a hunch that Boston wasn't going to win it either. But I think people were shocked that they didn't get out of the first round. They thought that if Boston was going to lose, it would lose in the second round or later on, not in the first round. But that's what makes hockey so crazy. Thank you, Dusk. I appreciate you. I mean, in some of these matchups, there's going to be a lot of extra typing that you have to do for me, but I really appreciate you, man. It definitely takes the stream to that next level. So thank you so much, man. Let's go. Kraken goal scored by Jaden Schwartz, assisted by Justin Schultz and Wenberg. 4-1 Stars. Let's go. Now the crowd is into it. Maybe a little too late. But if Seattle can score one more goal in this period and get it to 4-2, obviously 4-3 would be fantastic, right? But if we can get it to 4-2, there is a slight chance that if they score 2 goals in the third period and shut out Dallas for the remaining of the game and get to OT, there is a slight chance that could happen. But realistically, Dallas is not done scoring goals. So, there's Jason. Yeah. No, you've been a little cold, bro. But you know what? I still threw photos up for you because we got to show that love. 46 regular season goals and been pretty quiet. Yeah. I think the key is one more goal, because we're not going to get 2. 4-3 would be a great, if we go 4-3, yes, we can come back and win. But you got to look at Seattle and kind of their mantra. It's like they can come back typically by 2 goals or less. Once it's more than 2, it's a little out of reach, especially when you know that other team is probably going to score more than likely from here on out, at least one more goal minimum, right? But you never know. But if we can somehow, some way can get a goal here, right, and go 4-2 and then go 2 in the third period and go 4-4, anything is possible. But again, that's like best case scenario. But the reality is Dallas is winning this game. But I hope that we can keep fighting. Tom Murphy dinger. Yeah. What's the score? What do we got going on here? Oh, yeah. 4-0 Mariners. Boom, 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 boom. Hell yeah. There we go. We got to get payback from yesterday. France singled to left. Murphy scored. Haggerty scored in the bottom of the third. 2-0 Mariners. And now in the bottom of the seventh, Murphy homered to left centered. And Pollock scored. 4-0 M's. Let's go. Okay. That's awesome. I mean, I'm not going to be able to win. I'm not going to be able to have a great day with the Mariners and Kraken both winning all the time. So, sometimes you got to take an L and then come back for the next one. Come on, Seattle. Keep fighting. I like the aggressiveness of Seattle. We got to make sure we keep it in our zone there. 4:10 left in the second period. It's just so crazy how hockey can be 0-0 in the first period, 1-0, and then you always have this big explosion in the second period or third period. It's like you know it's not going to be like soccer where there's just going to be a bunch of people running around and it might end up being 0-0 or 1-0. That's why it's hard for me to be able to get into soccer, honestly, besides World Cup. There's too many people running around and not enough goals. Well, there's probably a good chance you'll be able to see them win another one before your time is up. And I'm hoping that the Kraken and the Mariners can win a championship before I die. Facts. I mean, I'd love to see the Oregon Ducks and the Blazers, find a way to win a natty and win a championship. Blazers have no chance. The Ducks have a small chance. I mean, it's like we get to the natty, every 4, 5, 6, 7 years, but we never win because we always play like Ohio State or like an SEC team, and you're never going to beat a team like that, right? But I think that the Mariners and the Kraken have a better chance to win a championship than the Blazers or Ducks, and that's, I think, pretty accurate. And probably the Kraken have probably the best chance out of any of the teams in the Pacific Northwest to, have a championship. Now, I think the Seahawks, could end up, making an NFC championship run in the next 5 years if they keep building, and then depending on what they do after Geno. But they still got a ways to go before we talk about that. But they look like they're going to be a pretty damn good team next year. They should win about 10 to 12 games next year and compete with the Niners for the NFC West crown. Probably a wild card team next year. But hell, they could end up winning the division, A lot of times when a team wins the division, they don't win it the following year. Facts. Yeah, but the thing is with the Eagles, if they don't have good defense, you're not going to be able to win the championship. If you're going to be going against Mahomes or Josh Allen or Herbert or whoever it ends up being in that particular year. You know what I mean? Like the defenses aren't as good on the AFC side, but they have all the Hall of Fame quarterbacks on the AFC side. So the only way that you can counteract that on the NFC side is if you have a team like Aaron Donald with the Rams or with the Tampa Bay Bucks. When we played the Chiefs and you have, JPP and Shaq Barrett and Ndamukong Suh and Devin White and Levante David, you have to have a, special team on defense to counteract those amazing offenses on the AFC side. If you don't, right, or, you play really good during the regular season and then you don't step up in the Super Bowl, which is pretty much what happened. No sacks, no picks. You can't play against Patrick Mahomes and think that you have no picks, no sacks, and you're going to come out and win the game. And then when Tampa played him in the Super Bowl, if you remember a few years back, we were all over his ass. He didn't even throw for a touchdown pass. And I thought the Eagles defense was going to be like the Rams with Aaron Donald when they won and the Bucks when we won, right? But obviously they don't have as many Hall of Famers on that team. And Fletcher Cox, as great as he is, Hall of Fame player, he's not Aaron Donald and he's not Warren Sapp. They had, big play Slay. They had good players, but they didn't have Hall of Fame players. And that's the difference. You have to have Hall of Fame players on defense to battle out those Patrick Mahomes kind of players. And, Jalen is great. The offense looks good, but the Eagles are never going to win anything unless they get a better defense. And I think most people know that. Parsons is nice, but Dallas is never going to win anything because they don't have the right coaching in place. They got a good defensive coordinator, but their head coach stinks. And obviously Dak, it doesn't seem like he's kind of like hit his ceiling. I'm not sure how much better Dak is going to get. Like we already know that he's kind of like a top 12 quarterback, but he's never going to be a top 5. Right. And it just feels like with that team, the fans always love to scream and shout. They haven't won a Super Bowl since 1995 and they can make the playoffs, but you're only going to get so far. You know what I mean? Like, they need to get a better head coach. Now, if they would have been able to get Sean Payton instead of going to the Broncos, and if you had him and Dan Quinn, then the Cowboys could go to an NFC championship game or maybe a Super Bowl. But you're not going to get there with McCarthy. Facts. I mean, obviously you can tell with the breakdown and the analysis on how much football we cover here. So, I mean, I cover all 32 teams. In depth, too. Come on, Gru.
From their respective trips to the locker room to get some patchwork done.
20 shots on goal for the Stars. 9 for Seattle. Come on, baby. Yeah, well, with the Cowboys, typically, just, me not being biased, because, I'm not a Cowboy or Patriot hater like most people are that are NFL fans. Most NFL fans have been programmed, by NFL Network and their friends, the media, to hate the Cowboys and to hate the Patriots, for the cheating and the Brady and the Gronk and all the championships. And then just Dallas based off their fans. Like, even though they haven't won a championship since 95, their fans are very vocal and very passionate, right? But a lot of times it's the same thing every single year. A lot of hype, a lot of disappointment. We're going to go all the way. And then a lot of times, you might get to the playoffs, maybe, 9-8 record, maybe 10-11 wins, and then you fall short in the playoffs, and then people get depressed, and then it, circles back again to the next year. But really what it comes down to is execution on the offense and having a better head coach and play caller. Another goal for Dallas. It's over. Fuck. Well, just like the last game when we were in control, they're giving us a little piece of our own medicine here. 5-1 Stars. But at least on my end, I'm not gonna, go crazy. This is kind of expected. Grew. Let's get another photo up here for the Stars. Rupe Hintz. Unassisted, too. Well, I got a cool photo here. 5-1 Stars. 14 seconds left in the second period. End of the second period. Stars 5, Kraken 1. Tough. Golly, after an ass whooping like that makes me want to go smoke or go eat some edibles. My goodness. Rub hands, assisted by Jamie Ben. 5-1 Dallas. I do it pretty often, bro. If you're new to the channel, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of one of those regular things that typically happens. I'm not going to be right all the time, but again, I usually have a pretty good gauge, especially with playoffs and especially in championship games. I'm pretty locked and loaded. I'm not going to, there's not going to be any human out there that's going to be right all the time. But I feel with the amount of film and the amount of reading and not being biased and looking at the stats deeper than most people, I can come out with a better conclusion than most people on Twitch and YouTube or in the media. Like I said, I feel like my win percentage or my prediction percentage is usually like 80% or better most of the time. And usually in championship games in the 4 major sports, usually like 90, 95%. So. Assisted by Jamie Ben. Oh, you're good, Dusk. Yeah, assisted by Jamie Ben. 95 to go. Now we need to pray for one of our mods or goats to come through to save the day. Yeah, we need to get to a big hundo. You want to take over on the dono side, Matt? I mean, it just takes one person to show love, and then it kind of snowballs. I mean, like I said, we had a couple good streams, 100, 200 and stuff. But like I said, every day is a little different. Some days you're going to be really, good on the dono side. Other streams will be a little light, but, when I do this full time, it's like, I'm not doing this just for fun. It's not part-time. This is like my career. This is like, I'm my own boss, so, definitely sitting at 5 isn't ideal, but we still have a third period and some time to get that number a little bit higher. Everyone's got bills to pay, and my rent just went up too. So anybody that can help with subs, donating, liking the video, sharing it on Twitter, anything that anybody can do, commenting is much appreciated. Stars goal by Ruben Hens. Assisted by Jamie Ben. 1907 in the second period. 5-1 Stars. Oh, shit. Dallas might score more than once. It's 5-1. I don't really know what the final score is going to be. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't surprise me if Dallas gets to 6 or 7 before the game is over. And I'm hoping Seattle will get to 2 or 3. You're going to lose, but I just want to see them fight, because obviously the better we do in the third period, the better that will carry over in the next game, because it's going to be a very difficult game to be able to try to come back from, because the next game is going to be in Dallas, and their crowd is going to be juiced up. And you don't want to lose 2 games in a row, but now we're in jeopardy of doing that. Losing this game and then going back to Dallas and then losing that and then being down 3-2 and then having to win back in Seattle in game 6 and then having to pull off the miracle on the road in Dallas in game 7 like we did with Colorado. So it definitely favors Dallas. We're not the favored team. We are the underdog like Florida. The difference is Florida is playing like a Stanley Cup champion right now that is on a mission. So
And a controversial goal. Yeah, we were split here too.
I said YouTube Shorts.
Billy makes a great play. Nothing wrong with what Max did here, but great shot.
See, the thing is for me also too, because I started off doing like reaction channels and reaction videos and stuff like way back in the day, but since my girlfriend works from home and I work from home, I can only get in the studio here after 4 p.m., typically normally like 5 p.m. and later. So usually when that comes around, I have to end up, doing a game, because that's usually what's going to be the main event of that particular day. But yeah, maybe at one point or another, I could do something like that.
Yeah, Grubauer was played unbelievable, yes, but on that specific play, I think it was the right call. Yeah, you were out first, and Jamie Benn tries to stay out of the crease. He's just doing his job. But I mean, accidentally. Also the right challenge by the coach, I think, at that point, though. It could have been a difference maker. It backfired on him. A huge turning point. Max Domi, though, right now, like outside of Jamie Benn, he's right there. He's been productive on the score sheet, but I love his game every day. He's cutting into the middle of the ice, making tough plays at the moment. I think it's a goal and assist he's got. Just missed getting the second goal stuff. He just barely missed trying to stop that one from behind the net. Great pick up for Dallas. He's playing really, really well. They need him. $10 bet on goal, no goal. Have you paid up yet? I have not paid up yet, but I got to wait till we get back to the hotel. Fast pay makes fast friends. How about the whole scrum Jamie Benn got in there with a lot of blood, mystery blood? Something fishy there too. We have to go back to the kid. Kind of choking or eye gouging. I mean, the nose cut. I think he must have punched it with a shield. That's what happened. The shield.
I mean, obviously, I would love to be able to post content in the morning and the afternoon, YouTube Shorts, uploads, and kind of give my spin on things. But again, you got to be able to have time to do those things. So obviously, if I'm doing this full time and I'm doing a bunch of YouTube shorts and I'm doing a bunch of uploads, that doesn't pay the bills. You know what I mean? You're not being able to make money off of that to be able to pay your rent and pay your bills. So everything that I do has to be kind of strategic, and you want to be able to do matchups where you have an opportunity to make a living. Otherwise, if it was just about like subs and views and that's it, of course you can go that route. Obviously it's easier for someone to watch a YouTube short or an upload rather than joining a live stream. I get that. But again, if I just do that, then I'm going to be homeless. I have to be able to do things that are going to be right for, me and obviously the channel. So there we go. But obviously shots on goal. Let's look at the stats here now as we're going into the third period. They listened, but like I said, I knew that we were going to lose this game. So shots on goal, Stars 22. Seattle only has 10. You can't expect us to win with only 10 shots on goal. 29 hits for Seattle, 13 for Dallas. And the face-offs is good, 19-16, just like you said, but it's not really proven to lead to anything. And then penalty minutes, Seattle 12, Dallas 8. Yeah, at least they listen, but it'd be nice to get a few more goals. But again, sometimes, sports and, tendencies tend to repeat themselves. And that's why I was very confident that Dallas was going to win this game. Yeah, but it's not as much as you think. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're making like 1 million views on a video, 500,000, then there's going to be a little bit of money made. But, if you're hitting, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, you don't get that much. People think you make all this money, off like ad revenue and off the views. You don't. Like, a lot of it is from donations. You know what I mean? Is where you're going to actually be able to make a living off of this. So, there's going to be, unless you are able to get like 1 million views per video, then you're going to be able to be making some money. But if you're not getting 500,000 or 1 million per video, you're not making as much money as people think. You're really not. I mean, I've been doing this for 11 years, so I should know. But I see what you're saying, though. But I think a lot of people that aren't YouTubers or people that are, I'm not sure if they really understand how YouTube works when you're a partner with them and, and how everything is kind of distributed. And like, obviously with like the super chat, someone could donate $100, but you're only going to get 65 of it. That's how much money they take out of that. So that's why I have to work so hard to make up for that. And then you just hope that you can get, like Cash App or Venmo or other things because they don't take as much on the percentage side. But imagine someone, donating, $100 and then you wait a month to get it. And then you only get like 65 or 70 of it. But then if someone donates 100 on, Cash App, then you get, 99 out of 100 and you get it immediately. A little bit nicer, I mean, you can watch videos of other, people on Twitch and YouTube lie about how much money they make or what's going on. But the harsh reality is YouTube is fucking hard. And like I said, I was watching a video just a couple days ago and we talked about it yesterday. As of last month, there's 114 million and some change YouTube channels. 114 million, right? And only 2% have 10,000 subs or more. So we are in the elite 2%, but we still have a long ways to go. And I wonder what that number is once we go down to 20,000 subs or more. Maybe it goes down to like 1%. But think about that. You know what I mean? Like everyone wants to compare themselves to other people and, see the Mr. Beast and all these other channels that are, crazy. They're making so much money and have so many views and subs, but, not everyone's going to be like that, obviously, right? But you just got to be able to enjoy your journey and understand that even though, sometimes things get frustrating, you got to be able to look at it in a positive perspective. And it is crazy to think that there's 114 million plus channels, right? A lot of them shitty, right? That are taking away from some of the other maybe good channels, right? But I get it. Everyone, wants to have a YouTube channel or stream on Twitch, right? Or whatever you decide to do. But only 2% out of 114 million are at 10,000 subs or more. I thought that was pretty wild. So at least we are in the elite 2%, but we got a long ways to go. There we go. Nice. I'm looking right now.
Welcome back to the Discover Second Intermission Report.
Bottom of the 8th, 4-0 Mariners. I love that. We got runners at second and third. Teoscar's at bat. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Keep me updated. Should I turn it? Should I turn the channel? We still got a couple minutes. Let me change.
Toronto is down 3.
All right. All right. Flipped it over to the Mariners for just a couple minutes here. Since I didn't flip it over all game. And all right, come on, Teoscar. This is how your boy works. We work in full time right here. Boom. Mariner logo. Boom. That's how we do it. Even your boy's always prepared. Bottom of the 8th, 4-0 Mariners. Runners at second and third. Pollock in the box. Teoscar Hernandez 0 for 3. 3-1 count from Kennedy to Hernandez. Big swing and a miss. 3-2 count. Not only do you get a hockey stream, you get a baseball stream just for a couple minutes. Come on, Teoscar. 3-2 pitch. Walked him. Bases loaded, baby. Woo! Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. That's crazy, though, how many channels that are out there, though. Well, obviously, you get people like me that are, trying to build something from the ground up. And obviously, if you're already a famous person, they know that they can make money, based on who they are. And that's why everyone and their mama has got a fucking podcast now, because they're trying to make money, or if you're like a wrestler and you're no longer wrestling, what's the best way to get your name out there? By doing a podcast, you know what I mean? But I feel like there's just so many that are out there, for podcasts and channels. Just because someone's got one doesn't mean it's good. I mean, let's be honest. Bases loaded for Pollock. Popped up, foul. And we'll go back to the game here in just a moment once we get started up here. We're at intermission. 5-1 Stars up on the Kraken. 4-0 Mariners up on the Rangers. Kind of crazy that we have 2 Texas teams and 2 Washington teams going at it in the same day. Pitch is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 career grand slams. Last grand slam was actually on my birthday in 2021, May 2nd, off Bettinger. Pitch is low. 2 balls, 1 strike. We're just kind of tapping into a little bit of this Mariner game while we're waiting for the intermission to continue. And this is at the end of the game anyways. It's bottom of the 8th, bases loaded. Mariners 4, Rangers 0. 2-1 count from Kennedy. AJ Pollock in the box. Popped up. Back to the warning track. Caught. That'll tag up. That'll score a man. 5-0 Mariners. Let's go. Yes, sir. There we go. Let's go, baby. And I love it that you love baseball now, Elliot. Not everyone loves baseball, NASCAR, NBA, or NHL. It takes a special person to be able to love those things. And imagine, it took that road trip with your friends. And I called it, didn't I? Out of everyone, that you talk to, friends or family, I told you, As soon as you go on that trip with your friends and you go to a game, it's going to change your life forever. And that'll be something that maybe you guys can continue to do for the rest of your life. Sometimes, you'll have friends that you'll go camping together. You'll go on a road trip, go to a concert together, go to a game together. And sometimes as you get older, you might not be able to coordinate, going on a trip or camping, but a lot of times you can coordinate going to a game together, during once a season, with friends, or maybe multiple times. And I just love it, man, because, like I said, you didn't like baseball at all. You ended up going to that game with the Cardinals and the Padres. And then now you love baseball more than most people on planet Earth, doing multiple fantasy baseball leagues. Got him. Struck him out. Well, we got another run going to the top of the ninth, 5-0 Mariners. All right. All right, let's go back to the Kraken game here. Let's go. Bruh, you're telling me. You're telling me something like I don't know. Hi, Paisley. Come in here, honey. It's like the love of my life right here. Saved my life, my puppy. She wants some exercise after this game is over, and we're going to go for an hour walk. It's always good for the mental health. If you are struggling with depression or anxiety, there's a few things that you can do to help yourself. Obviously, listening to music, going outside, spending time with your cats or your dogs. You got to make sure that you're doing enough, for yourself, and obviously being able to spend time, watching games and enjoying yourself, watching a movie, playing some video games, getting outside. But the main thing for me, I feel, is, exercising, eating better, and getting outside and, spending time with, obviously the people that are important to you. All right, let's go into the third period. We're down 5-1. She is, man. Jonathan, baby. ESP, baby. I had another ESP moment today, Jonathan. I let them know that Dallas was going to win and they were going to win big, and here we are. And I know it's kind of weird probably for someone to say that about their own team, but at least I'm being honest and being genuine, and that's what I feel. I'm not going to go into every Mariner or Kraken game thinking we're going to win by 5, 6, 7. You have to be realistic about it. All right, they just bench Grew. You're going to save him for game 5 in Dallas, which is most likely it's going to be tough to win that game. For Dallas's sake, they have to win that. But if the Kraken want to win the series, obviously winning game 5 in Dallas would be huge, because then we could come back in game 6 and win in Seattle. But the flow of the series is kind of back and forth. But this might be the opportunity for Dallas to win 2 in a row and Seattle to lose 2 in a row. And the series is 2-2. We go back to Dallas. They win. Then they go up 3-2. We win in Seattle 3-3. And then we win in Dallas in game 7. That kind of seems like where we're going. Unless we can win, the next game, game 5 in Dallas, then we can win game 6 in Seattle. But, the crazy thing is that if we were able to go up 3-2, right, and win in Dallas next game, the chances are that Dallas would beat Seattle with their backs against the wall, and they would win game 6 in Seattle. Unless Seattle can rifle off 2 wins in a row. Oh, big hit. Boom. And that's just kind of how sports is. You just think, oh, the home team is going to win, but it doesn't necessarily, work out and play out that way all the time. Oh, we're not scoring 4 in 5 minutes. And we don't even have a Grew in there. So, even though he hasn't done well today, but yeah, we'll be lucky if we can hold them to 1 or 2 more, and hopefully we can get to 2 or 3 before this game is over to give us a little momentum going into game 5. It's going to be very difficult to win that game in Dallas. The crowd is going to be crazy. 23 shots on goal for the Stars. 10 for the Kraken. Well, I have to be real. You don't want me to be like everyone else on YouTube or Twitch or TV or podcast that doesn't know anything about sports and says the wrong shit all the time. I'm not Skip Bayless. I'm not Stephen A. I'm here to be able to educate and also give realistic expectations. I mean, I do make, good predictions a lot of times. So, and sometimes you just have a feeling, like, you know what I mean, going into the game, but also I like to look at the stats, the analytics. That's why I'm able to do what I do. It's not just lucky guesses. It's not like that at all. The main reason also too is, being able to watch sports, and watch playoff whatever, since the 80s, and you start to pick up tendencies. Yeah. There we go. Woo! There we go. There we go. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. There we go. Yeah, crazy though that there's 100 and there's going to continue to be more and more, but like I said, only 2% out of 114 million have 10,000 subs or more. So for, anyone that, has issues with that, obviously it's hard to grow, but you just have to keep the faith. What's up? Is she being crazy? Okay. Are you sleepy? Okay. All right, let me go. All right, let me go grab my puppy here. 1 sec. All right, I'm back. 5-2 Stars, 23 shots on goal for the Stars, 13 for the Kraken, 15 minutes left in the third period. And I'm glad that they are bringing the energy here, which is fantastic, even if we lose. Come here, honey.
He bounces one deep. Larson around the wall. Everly is there along the half boards. Chips it out the center. Pavelski across the line, Rupe hands, drop pass Robertson, moves in, shoots. In with the glove by Martin Jones. Good save by Martin Jones. And you need those, right? I mean, you're down. There's no room for error now. And you get the early goal, which gives your team and the building a little bit of juice, and it's important that you do your part now. And Robertson, right from the circle, looking to go far side, but a good job by Jones to get outside the blue paint, make a real pop glove save there. Looking across at the Dallas bench, Jamie Benn, the captain, is leading from the red line basically and just barking down the bench to that entire team. Off the draw. Harley, long wrist shot, sails to the high glass behind Jones. Robertson takes a hit, gets the puck deep, done. Reverses, Robertson intercepts. Rope hits, back to the point. Pass draws Dallas back to the neutral zone. Pavelski, between the legs, a drop for hits. Robertson sweeps one on the backhand deep.
I mean, obviously, if I had more time, to do uploads and YouTube shorts and all these other things, I would. But obviously, once you get to a certain point of being established, you have to be smart about things, especially, if you have rent and bills and, You have to be able to put yourself in a position to win. I mean, fuck it. When I started the YouTube channel too, I did predict it would take me 10 years to go full time, and it literally was 10 years on the head. So I don't know what kind of ESP I have and whatnot. I mean, it seems like it happens pretty often, but it's been a long road. There's a few secrets, with doing like reaction videos and whatnot, because a lot of this stuff will get blocked. Sometimes it's about the length of the video. Sometimes it's about pausing the video at certain points. And also, if the NFL usually is pretty lenient, compared to other sports. Obviously with some of the other stuff, you can't really do a lot of reaction video stuff. It'll just get taken down. Wrestling, like WWE, AEW, that's not going to be able to work typically. Basketball, the video has to be a certain length. It can't be too long. If it goes over that cutoff point, typically it'll get blocked in the US or blocked altogether. And like I said, with the NFL side, there's a few little secrets, to do that and whatnot. But I don't know. I feel with like reaction videos, that's kind of like old. That's like 2016, 2017, 2018. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of the fans enjoyed like my breakdowns and stuff, and maybe we'll get back into that, obviously, as we go into next year and whatnot. But everything has to be calculated for me. But that's just giving you a little insight. Kraken goal by Schwartz, assisted by Bjorkstrand, and done. 5-2 Dallas. And a 5-0 Mariners win. I like that. Yeah, this is my only channel. I mean, a lot of hard work, man. And YouTube has changed their metrics and algorithm many, many times. So it's very difficult for newbies to get, partnered now. And also they like to prioritize the big channels, even over channels like mine that are on the cusp. Like I'm on the cusp of 20,000, you know what I mean? But sometimes I feel like they treat me like I have 20 subs. Like, it's kind of sad, but you just got to be able to keep working, keep putting in that work. And, things aren't fair, in life. We obviously know that, but it's just, you just got to be able to keep moving forward. And again, a lot of people will never even get to this point where I'm at right now. But I feel, based on all the work that I've done at this point, I feel that I should be at probably double the subs that I'm at now. But, they don't really help me out too much. And that's why it's really essential that the fans, come through and they help, by sharing and liking and, getting the word out there. So, oh yeah, baby. Great win. See where we're at. 19,824. I mean, I've hit 20,000 twice, but again, some fans are fickle. So it's like, they'll sub, they'll unsub, and that's fine. We just want to have people that are going to stick around. So.
Just like me, Peter Davidson. Isn't that right, co-host Rhonda? Co-host?
Yeah, but we're on the cusp of 3.8 million views, and we have over 1,600, live streams or videos since 2017. So obviously, I put in that work. See if we can get at least one more goal for good measure. I appreciate that. Yeah. And like I said, I feel I have kind of an advantage over a lot of people too, because I did phone sales for like 20 years of my life. So I've, worked for the most cutthroat businesses and talking to like the rudest of rude people in New York and Boston. So I feel I can, talk to any race of any age of any person. And, I just try to be genuine and real. and not fugazi and fake, not biased, and and talk about real life things on the side too, like depression and anxiety. But we also can come together as a group and enjoy wrestling and sports as a whole. But I appreciate the kind words, man. And like I said, and obviously with thumbnails, it's like you got to always keep improving everything that you do. And that was one of the last things that I needed to do. And I had a guy that I was paying to do some of my thumbs because I didn't know how to do it. And then he was charging, too much. And I got to a point where I was like, all right, I got to figure this out on my own. And now everything is on point, with the videos, the background, the photos, the thumbnails. Now it's just a matter of the fans helping me out so we can get to that number. So I appreciate that very much, man. Well, also on top of that, I sacrificed a PSA 9 Michael Jordan rookie card that's worth $20,000 to $30,000 for this channel. So I'm never quitting. If I'm willing to sacrifice that, quite a few years ago in 2017 to get the iMac, to get the speakers, to get the, the microphones and everything. Obviously there is no quitting in me. There'll be times where I'll get a little down with how things are going, but I'm always going to keep going. So how many times did you pause the video? Because there's certain secrets, on what you need to do. So if you're doing a reaction video to the NFL, you got to pause the video. Like when you first start the video out, and this is me giving you the secrets here. Okay. All right. So when you do the video, you'll have you and you'll have the highlight. The highlight can't be the full screen. So you'll be you, and then it'll have to be minimized like a box. And then your background. You don't want it to be full screen with you in the corner like a Twitch stream, like a guy playing a video game where your head is in the corner and it's full screen NFL highlight. Don't do that. That'll get it blocked right out of the gates. Okay. So you'll have you, and then you'll have like a box, like a minimized box. It could be like half of the screen, a quarter of the screen for the highlights, and then you in the corner. Okay. And then when you start the video off, right, you have your intro and you're not playing the video. And then after the first, maybe I would say highlight, the very first highlight in the action where they show like Josh Allen throwing a touchdown pass to Diggs, pause it. First 10 seconds, pause. Then you talk about that first highlight, on what you saw, what happened. Then start it up. And then, you're going to watch a few things, right? And then maybe after another, minute or so, pause it again. So you have to make sure that you're pausing it so that way it's not a full highlight package in entirety. If you never pause the video, you're going to get it blocked every time. So that's a little secret from me to you. So yeah, my life is not, like I said, I'm not like most YouTube channels. You know what I mean? My journey has been a little bit different, than most. And I feel at one point or another, they could make a movie off my life. I mean, just not most people can't, have like a documentary or a movie, based on their life and what their dream or goals are. But I definitely have had a very unusual and special, life up to this point too. Yeah. And and I've been a collector, I still collect cards and I still collect, toys. I've been doing that since the 80s, but it literally is the biggest card. Like that card is going to be worth $100,000. I could have got a house, a Lambo, but I sacrificed that for my dreams because I believed in myself. And I knew that I needed to get an iMac and to take it to the next level. And I actually had a partner I did the channel with when I first started. He quit on me. So, I've gone through a lot, with the channel and whatnot. And I've had to reinvent myself multiple times, from doing reaction videos to live streams, and then doing, hockey to NASCAR to NBA to NFL to college football to AEW to WWE. So it's been a long journey for me, for sure. Yeah, but if you are going to do reaction videos, that's what I would recommend. The first highlight, pause the video, and then every minute or two, pause the video. So if it's like a 10-minute reaction video, you should probably pause the video 5 or 6 times. You have the highlight paused. You do your introduction. Yo, this is blah blah blah. This is Rod. Bang bang bang. and then let's get into the highlight package, Bills and Chiefs, right? And then as soon as that first highlight hits, pause, right? That first 10 seconds, whatever that first highlight is, pause the video, make sure you talk, for 30 seconds to a minute, break down that highlight, then have the highlight roll again. And then watch for about maybe a minute, pause it again when you see another time to pause it. Then, do another minute or two, pause it again. So you're going to want to make sure you're pausing it, about every minute or minute and a half, 2 minutes, if it's like a 10-minute highlight. And then if you do that method, you shouldn't get your videos blocked. So that's some good knowledge there for you. And most people won't tell you that unless you're in the loop. So, but I'm not a hater. I always want people to succeed, friends and family and people a part of the channel. So hopefully that advice helps you out. Appreciate you.
As an actor, it's my job to make people believe what they're seeing is real.
Yeah. And like I said, all I need is an opportunity for them to push the channel so that way more people can get this as a recommended channel. And I honestly feel if, because you know how people are, a lot of people are followers. They're not leaders, right? So people will see some channel, and if there's like 1,000 people in the room, maybe or 100, maybe they'll join the room. But if it's a lower amount, maybe they don't. And, sometimes people have a big sub count and they'll just sub just because it's the popular thing to do because they're already popular. You know what I mean? But I honestly feel if I got a proper push that we could be one of the biggest sport channels on YouTube, but it's just, the first couple years I wasn't making any money and I was doing reaction videos and they were promoting the channel because I wasn't making money really. And, we would get 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 50,000 views. So you get subs and views, but you're not making any money. And then went to live streams and, obviously the algorithm changed, but, like I said, they have their favorites and they pretty much determine on who makes money and who doesn't, who gets views and who doesn't. So. See right there. And that's the reason why reaction channels pause, because if they don't pause the videos on the things that they're doing, it gets blocked in the United States or altogether. So, and obviously I'm in the loop on everything on YouTube, and like on the NBA side, the same thing applies to that, but also the highlight package can't be over like 10 minutes. At least that's how it used to be. So if you did like an NBA highlight package, you got to make sure that the video ends before 10 minutes in most cases. I don't know why that was like the magic number, but if you went over, a lot of times they would block it. But if you went under, then you would be able to keep the video. So there's always like these little tricks, to do, but most reaction videos pause a shitload, and sometimes fans get pissed. They're like, why are these guys talking so much? They're not doing it just to talk. Well, maybe some of them are, but a lot of them are doing it because they have to, because that's how you actually keep the video up. You have any other questions? I'll take care of you. I mean, I'm always trying to help people succeed. Nice save. 8:50 left in the third period. Yeah, but like I said, my life has been crazy. Like I said, I've always had a good luck with sports memorabilia, going to games and everything too. Like I went to 7 Mariner games leading up to this year. 7, right? I've gotten 3 baseballs in 7 games. A Kike Hernandez ball when he was on the Dodgers. That was my first one when I went with my dad, and that was like a year before COVID. Last year, I predicted that I would get a Julio Rodriguez rookie ball, right? And I went to the game, and I did, right? And I did that with my friend Justin. Then a few weeks later, I was going to go to the Yankees in Seattle, and I told everyone during Aaron Judge's big 62 home run, season that I was going to get an Aaron Judge ball. And then everyone thought that I was crazy, that there would be no way in hell that I would be able to get a Julio ball, predict it, and get an Aaron Judge ball, right? And I did. So like I said, there's always this crazy things that end up happening to me, like these special situations that are presented in front of me, and you either act or you don't. You take advantage of that moment or you don't. And a lot of times I'm a honey badger with foul balls and whatnot, and it'll be a memory that I have for the rest of my life. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Getting a Julio Rodriguez rookie ball, rookie of the year, and an Aaron Judge ball in the same season. I mean, the only thing better could have been an Otani ball, and I'm still going to be working on that. But oh, yeah, but the only problem is with networking on like YouTube, a lot of people on YouTube have too much ego and they don't want to work with other people unless they're already friends with them. You know what I mean? So they have their little friend group, but a lot of people have too much ego and they're not willing to share the spotlight because they think that they're going to lose some of their subs to that other channel. Like I was promised to be able to do, a collab with a big YouTuber and they backed out because I think they felt threatened by me because I think that they thought that maybe I would take some of their fan base and whatnot. But, it is what it is. And like I said, I wouldn't mind networking and, doing collabs and whatnot. But the problem is there's so many of these guys and girls out there. They're just too much ego and they make false promises and, they're just not about that life, Hey, $20,000, $30,000 card, a lot of money, man. And the crazy thing is I actually got the card on eBay in LeBron's rookie year in 2003 when I was 21. And at that time period, it was worth $2,500, and I got it for $1,000, $980 and $20 insurance. I bid with like 50 people, and the economy was really low at that point. You're never going to be able to get a card for $1,000 when it's worth $2,500 nowadays. And then it was worth about $6-7 back then in like 2017, and now it's worth like 20 to 30,000. And then when Jordan dies, it'll be worth 100,000. So because I had a 9, so. But I don't regret it, one bit. So I appreciate that. Oh, nice. Heck yeah, man. Five 2 stars. 6 minutes left in the third period. I know Seattle fans probably were thinking they were going to win this game today, or they were optimistic, but it really does show you how good Dallas is. We are not the favored team in this series. Come on, Seattle. One more goal for pride. We're going to lose, but if we can get one more, 5-3 is a lot better than 5-2. A loss is a loss, but a lot of times people don't realize what an extra effort goal will mean to the team going into the next game. Because you got to think, chances are, we're going to probably lose Game 5 in Dallas, more than likely, unless we have an insane performance. I mean, it's possible. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a lot of anticipation and a lot of effort from Dallas to win that game. It's a must-win for them, But if we win that game, then we might be able to win Game 6. But again, winning 2 in a row at all in this series is going to be very difficult. But if any team can do it, Dallas will be the first to do it because they have a great chance on winning, obviously, at home in the next game and going up 3-2. Then we have to win, obviously, at home in Game 6. And then just pray for that miracle finish in Game 7 like we did against the Avalanche. And we'd have to win in Dallas in Game 7. And normally on the road, they're decent. They're pretty good. But if you can beat Colorado in Game 7, you can beat Dallas in Game 7 if we can force it to that point. Hey, I just said we need to score one more goal. Boom, there it is. ESP, baby. How you like that? Sports gods, they listen to your boy, man. Let's go. It's kind of creepy when I say something like that, and then it literally happens like 30 seconds later. Not primarily. I mean, I remember a lot of people. I mean, we have a lot of Saints fans on the channel and whatnot, but yeah, I bet. I appreciate your support, bro. And hopefully those little secrets that I told you will help you out, if you plan on trying to do some reaction videos in the future. There's gonna not a lot of streamers will give that information up. It's kind of like not like a secret, but it's not like open information that most streamers give away. But I hope that helps you out, bro. And I appreciate your support. And as a Saints fan, you got to be happy, man, because they're going to end up winning the division the next couple years. Tampa is tanking, and they're trying to get Caleb Williams or Drake May, from USC or North Carolina in the draft next year. The Falcons and the Panthers will improve, but they're still not going to be playoff worthy. So the Saints should be, even though they had a rough year last year, they'll get back on track, winning 10 to 12 games, and they should be pretty good moving forward. Yeah, I mean, I usually can do it, multiple times. Usually when I watch a game, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wrestling, even though wrestling's predetermined, for the outcomes. But normally on the four major sports, I mean, I can watch a game and, find a way to predict. Like also when I said in the last game that, we usually have a different guy that'll score multiple, you're not going to have multiple goals scored every game. A lot of times Seattle will have a different guy, and then they, the sports gods heard it, and then it was like 7 different guys that scored, so it makes me feel good when the sports gods are listening, when I actually say something and then they prove me right, and then it happens. So I mean, that's what gives me credibility on the channel compared to a lot of others. I'm not biased, and I actually do make predictions that come true, which is a little creepy for me sometimes too, because sometimes I'll just have a vision or dream, or I'll just think of something, or I'll get some kind of information and then I'll just say it out loud and then it happens. And that happens a lot with a lot of the things that, like who the hell predicts they're going to get a Julio Rodriguez ball and an Aaron Judge ball? Like, how hard it is to get a baseball, let alone from those guys at the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's like 1 in a billion, and I was able to do it. So I don't know. It's very hard to explain, but I usually get myself in really good opportunities in sporting events. And then it's just a matter of if you are going to react, because obviously, what foul ball is. If you don't react within the first second, you're not getting the ball. And that's facts. Yeah, I hope that helps you out, bro. I'm always helping people win. I like it. I know that, it's not Drew Brees, but again, it's not Jameis Winston either. And you guys had a lot of injuries and whatnot, right? And the draft every year, the Saints fans always think they know where they're going to pick. And it doesn't matter if it's Sean Payton, Dennis Allen, or someone else. You guys always pick these random weird players that, it's like a fit for the Saints. But a lot of Saints fans get pissed because they're like, there's another player that's better on the board, and then you go for some random no-name or a guy that's not as well known. But I always thought Carr was like Cousins, where they're not the best, but they're top 15 quarterbacks, primarily 11 through 15. And obviously they're never going to be, top 5 quarterbacks, Cousins or Carr. But again, there's 32 quarterbacks in the NFL. Not everyone is going to be Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. So if you have a guy that is like 10th, 11th, 12th, that's still good enough to make a deep run. So I actually like Carr, and they wanted to be able to another goal for an empty net. They always wanted to shit on Carr. The problem with the Raiders was never Carr, and Jacobs ran with no line. It's always been the offensive line is trash besides Colton Miller. The defense is terrible besides Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. They haven't drafted well. And the coaching typically isn't very good in the play calling. So if you can, it's like, yeah, you got Jacobs, Devontae Adams, you had Renfro, Waller's on the Giants now. But if you don't have time for that quarterback to make the throws, right? Or if you don't have a line that can open up the holes, unless you have an extraordinary back like Jacobs this season, right? You're not going to win games. And you have to have a good O-line and a good D-line. You got to have, a good balance. You got to win the battle in the trenches. So, but I actually do like I actually do like the Carr move to the Saints. Well, we got to see what happens in trial for AK with, like, you know, him punching the guy and the curb stomping shit that they did with him and his homies in the elevator with that other guy. So we have to figure out the legal stuff. And I really like AK-41 Alvin Kamara, but you know, he hasn't really played up to his expectations, and Thomas gets hurt all the time. So, you know, if you decide to let him go, you know, he's only valuable if he plays, and he really hasn't played a whole lot. And remember, when he had his record-breaking year, he did it with Drew Brees, not with Jameis Winston or someone else. So I wouldn't really expect a whole lot, you know, from Michael Thomas. And you got Olave now. So if Thomas leaves, at least you got another number one, and then you can keep adding to that. So we will see. We'll see how it goes. But, I mean, at some point, I mean, who's going to really want Mike Thomas at this point, too? You know what I mean? Like, we know that he had a really good year, but the NFL is a league of what have you done for me lately? And, you know, it seems like ages that he broke that record with, you know, all the yards and the receptions, you know, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy for the last few years, and that's a problem. 6'3" stars, and that's pretty much what I figured it would be. Yeah. And that's one thing I think with me compared to most people, like my analysis and breakdown, you know, for teams and players. I mean, I follow every NFL team as if it were my own. That's a lot of energy and effort. And, you know, even if it's a rival like the Saints, you know, like I said, that's why I think the Saints fans like me, because I'm the only one that is like a Tampa fan that actually will show them love. You know, because Saints fans hate Saints fans. Let's be honest. You know, you can't even go into a chat room without Saints fans arguing with other Saints fans. And let alone if Saints fans argue with other fan bases, we already know how that goes. Some Saints fans are great, but let's be honest, Saints fans are toxic. There are a lot of them are fucking toxic as fuck, right? You know, passionate, but toxic. And I think Saints fans will even admit to that. Yeah, I love me some AK-41. All right, 18 seconds left. Not the game that I think the Kraken fans wanted, but the game that I expected. And Dallas is the real deal. So, you know, for them to rebound in game 2 after we won game 1, no surprise. And for them to rebound after our game 3 ass whooping to give us an ass whooping in game 4. Final score, Dallas 6, Kraken 3. We'll have to wait here for a couple days till Thursday. And then hopefully we can find a way to win on the road. But don't be surprised if Dallas wins game 5 in Dallas and they win 2 games in a row and put the pressure on Seattle. Now, if Seattle can win game 5, they can win game 6. But again, the way that the series has gone, just because if we end up winning in Dallas in game 5, right? They're like, oh, then we're going to win game 6 and then we're going to win the series. Not so fast. Because if we end up stealing one in their building, they can do the same. They already did it in game 4. So we'll see how it goes. No problem, bro. No problem. I appreciate all the work that you put in. And hopefully we can get a few more people to come through and whatnot. It's 2-2 now. So... well, I appreciate everyone. We had a little bit of a light day on the dono side, and I just woke up in time to be able to do the stream after I fell asleep. But I know tomorrow will be a little bit better. Thank you to everyone that donated, that subbed, that commented, and then we'll have to get back on track hopefully tomorrow. It's been a little light the last 3 days, but I know that we can turn it around. Thank you to everyone that liked, subbed, donated, commented. You guys are the best. I love you, and I appreciate you. And we'll be back tomorrow for either some NHL playoff action or maybe the Mariners. We'll kind of wait and see. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.